Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Cosmic Drugs. Yep. Um, Welcome, ladies and gents, to another. I almost said magical new message. Transit talk. This is shout out to Anita. Finna be lit. For those of you who are into football, real sports heads knows it's not soccer, it's football. But for those of you who are into that good football or soccer, make sure you follow Anita's joint. She's definitely covering these soccer games, these football games, and it is football season again. So y'all, okay. Shoot. Other than that, this is definitely set to be really dope because I'm going to be talking about Mercury in Cancer, which, as you see, is because I'm going to be talking about psychic processing ability. Let's also welcome Courage to Change One to the Infinity Club. She has upgraded her membership. Gang, gang, gang. That's a 20-minute consultation every month, as well as 50% off of readings and merch. You get the exclusive decal. Okay. Other than that, though, welcome. I actually don't want to talk at all or too much about this, but a lot of people are bringing up the harsh and just negative, racist words of the soccer game. Apparently, with England, who lost, and first of all, I don't want to scoff at people who stood in solidarity. That's beautiful. That's great. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. You're using your voice. Super awesome. In fact, I didn't even know what happened. I only knew what happened because people were, standing up for the dude who I guess missed a penalty shot. I didn't even see the game. It just reminds me of maybe somebody who missed a field goal in football. And it just kind of reminds me of literally every single football game where you just have a bunch of belligerent, drunk as hell watchers of the game or monsters who take their anger out on players of the game, even though they're not playing the game. Like the irony of not playing a game, but being angry because you are living vicariously through the players, and then you take your anger out on the players. The whole thing was really funny to me. Just seeing how wars have been fought in Asia, in Europe, in South America or Central America over, lost soccer games. Like motherfuckers don't play with that. People will fight over that. Some people aren't safe just because, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I thought that was interesting. The only, I don't think anyone thought that it was nothing new. There was just kind of like a hint of people being surprised that belligerent, drunk, angry soccer fans were being belligerent, drunk, angry soccer fans. This year was back to black people. And they let their anger out on, racially, which is nothing new. Which I don't want to say this to scoff the people standing up, because that was actually great. That was great to see. It's like, you know what? We're not gonna allow this. I just thought it was pretty funny where it's like, well, this happens literally every single soccer game. If it's not a black person, they gonna get at their own people and fight. So like Let's just chalk this up to people being belligerent and drunk, mainly drunk and idiots. So, the reason why I'm referencing this is something like that, which if you abstractify is just a fucking soccer game. I'm sorry. Then again, I'm not from there and take soccer super seriously, which is the culture. But right, when all else fails, use the N word, which is amazing. But it's just personally, and then money be involved. People lost money. I get that. So it's just a part of culture. But see, that's why I wanted to. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is ingrained behavior like that is a part of culture. The only reason why a bunch of people do this, even though they're hiding behind the safety of their computer and internet, is because I don't want to say it's normalized, which is why it's great. You see people taking a stance and but what I really wanted to point out is a lot of this, if you extractify it, is not that big a deal. But the extreme reaction is evidence of a demonic gene pool activating in a collective of people. Remember when I say, and Venetia said it perfect, it's how men process suppressed emotion. Remember how I say that personally, you know, everyone's awakening psychic ability. Some is demonic because of their demonic character. Some is angelic because of their angelic character. And let me not just say angelic, because angelic would presuppose that just because it's angelic, it's good. But there's fallen angels in this bitch. The devil is an angel. So, your psychic power is going to mold relative to your character. And what you want to be mindful of are people who trivialize psychic phenomena by just real instances. No, it's nothing like that. This is just how the culture is. This people are known to do that. It doesn't have to be some crazy psychic explanation. Actually, it does, because everything that happens physically happens spiritually first, which if you knew anything, you would know that. And you wouldn't dismiss something like all the commonly held assumptions that you think are realistic have a spiritual connotation, because everything is matter, and matter has soul, and everything has a soul, and everything that you see physically has happened. Thank you, Angeli. I got your payment. You're going to be the first up, okay, for the live readings. So, a lot of this is minute. You don't want to look at the big things. You want to look at the little things, okay? Shout out to Jennifer. How you doing, yo? Seeing more so of a more extreme than normal. For those whose third eyes are open, they're noticing that this uncharacteristic. Thank you, Nas. You know what I do. You know how I do. You know how I do. Reality check recap coming soon. Shout out to Moon and Virgo. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mateo. Personally, you dealing with collectively, if you notice, especially ever since 2008, every year the fuckery has just exponentially risen. And let's talk about it, because that's definitely been a part of cultural conversation since the dawn of civilization, where you have a group of people lamenting at how crazy other people are, which is normal. But it's not normal if you think, especially since Pluto's been in Capricorn, every year you're seeing more of the collective specifically fail integrity tests, express an impurity of character. That's not to say that there isn't anything on the other side in a good way, because there is no good or bad. In fact, a lot of the things that we're seeing that are bad, a lot of the things as a humanity we're lamenting on. And if you notice, whether people will admit it or not, the rhetoric and narrative is, damn, people are just being crazier. What's going on with the world? Actually, it's not bad. The fact that you're starting to see more and more people express this lack of empathy, this lack of sensitivity. One of the biggest lies that are being told is that social media ruined everything. Social media is making people lose sensitivity. That's dumb as fuck. That's literally like saying, oh, he got a bunch of money and now he's stuck up and changed. Money only makes you more of what you are. social media and internet addiction did not take a gun to your face and make you addicted. People are just unconscious to how they enable their own addictions. So, like this whole notion, thank you, social media just exposed everything. The whole notion that, you know what I mean, social media really has done more positive than negative, but people unconsciously like to focus more on the negatives, which negative is just subjective. Social media single-handedly was able to unite so many people and bring a voice to people who didn't have a voice. It's all psychological. But this is very important, because this whole notion that social media is desensitizing people, no, people are desensitizing people. They're just using social media. And so when you take responsibility instead of blaming some abstract force that we can just basically blame and look down on other people because they know how to use it, we're not really solving anything. We're just, adding to this tired ass stupid fucking narrative that confuses more people. So here's the truth. Okay, here's the truth right here. You are revolutionary. All right. Talk about YouTube University. YouTube has enabled people to learn stuff that they needed tuition, which is a fucking stupid concept, to pay for education, which should be free. But and then that's still somewhat controversial to say. But other than that, you know what I mean? The whole notion, and what I'm really wanting to elaborate here is that I want to make sure we're clear that there has been a degradation. There has been a rising cumulative exposure of the ugly side of humanity. There has been more of an exposure of the darkness that, because of social media, we're seeing it like it's new, but has always existed. But here's my challenge to you. Many people would look at this and be like, this is a bad thing. What's wrong with the world? But this is the Great Awakening. You're awakening to how the world has always been. Many people got woke to human trafficking happening in droves and feel like they're suddenly a superhero that has to stop human trafficking, when human trafficking has existed since the dawn of civilization. There's nothing new under the sun. This is an ancient ecclesiastic proverb. Everything that you're aware of has always occurred. It just may be happening in a new updated way. So concerning that, my challenge to you is to recognize this more extreme degradation of culture is actually a good thing, because you're seeing the end of social expectations and the box of civilization. If you think that everything that constitutes people reacting like something is wrong, the only reason why people will look at somebody mob someone on the street, somebody kill a little girl, and be like, wow, the world is getting dark, even though this shit happens every day, or like, oh wow, this is horrible, is because, and this is fucked up to say, it's a social expectation. You know what I'm saying? In society, you're not allowed to murder people. In society, you're not supposed to rape little boys and girls. You're not supposed to eat people. And so we have designated that this is wrong. None of these things are wrong. None of these things are bad. Sticking objects up little children and mutilating innocent people are not bad. But they're not good either. Okay? We literally ascribe morality to actions because this is our compass. A subjective understanding of good or bad is not good or bad. It simply is. I would never tell you to not have a moral compass. Have your subjective moral compass. Just know it's subjective, okay? And I'm not saying this to argue or defend people who do heinous stuff. For example, I will tell you once again, like, mutilating or abusing children is not a bad thing. If I see you doing it, I'm fucking you up on site. Like, whether it's good or bad or not, I'm fucking you up on site. It is what it is. But not because it's bad, because that's just my principle. Okay. I know how to disassociate between what's good or bad versus what things are. And the reason why I'm going to that extreme is because a lot of commonly wildly held assumptions that you have since birth are just social expectations. They're not the truth. They're just what you've been indoctrinated to believe and socially, psychologically reinforce in your psyche as good and bad, whether you've been punished by a lack of attention of other people. And I hope what I'm saying sounds dumb and is triggering your emotions, because a lot of y'all feel cancer so extremely to these. You don't know you limit yourself by putting yourself in these moral boxes. I'm not saying to just abandon your moral compass and do what the hell you want. You still have to have integrity and responsibility, and we're within a system with which if you don't have power over, you still have to, you have to accept reality. But just because certain things are real doesn't mean they're true. For example, if we take cannibalism used to be accepted in society, not in modern civilization, which modern is subjective because it's only modern according to us, right? People 100,000 years from now will not see this as modern, they'll see it as ancient. And everything that we do is going to be crazy. And let me kind of just co-sign what Buddha said, because this is so very important. The way you talking about kids, you sound wild. And this is so very important. Why is it that I sound wild? It's because whenever you think of children, whenever you think of how innocent children are, you hold them to this pristine purity. There are extreme emotions. You motherfuckers don't play around with kids. So everything that I just said right now is going to sound wild to you because you have harped down in your brain that you can't talk this way about kids. That's bad. And I'm triggering you because I'm letting you know, no, it's not. There's nothing wild about what I said. It's just the detached perspective. Somebody mutilating an innocent child is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. And we better not catch you in these streets or we'll fuck you up. But I'm trying to make the point that it's not bad or good. The only reason why it's bad is because you have decided, according to your moral compass, that it's bad. And that's a good thing. You feel me? Especially, I love how certain people are arguing with me in the comments because this is a good thing, by the way. It's not a good or bad thing. But certain people will be like, it's bad. How can you say it's not good? Because in your heart, you've seen it as a bad thing. I'm not excusing it, by the way. I'm not saying that it's good. When I say that it's not bad, in your head, you think I'm saying it's good. It's neither good or bad. I'm literally attempting to take you out of the chain of this whole construct of good or bad. Things don't have to be good or bad. They simply are. It doesn't excuse these things, but this is what I'm pretty much literally triggering you to accept. And the reason why I'm starting this off, right? And Lilac said he's saying to be neutral. That's actually not what I'm saying. That's actually Lilac, I'm glad you said that. I'm not saying that you should let go of your moral compass. If you think subjectively to you certain things are bad, then hold on to that. I'm saying you have to at the same time accept that because, you know what I mean, you look at things as good or bad, this can ultimately mislead you to the objectivity, right? And I want to highlight Tanya's comment. No, you are saying it's not bad, and it is bad. And the only reason why you believe it's bad is because of an extreme feeling towards what you think is bad. And let me break down what you say. Somebody who mutilates children and is a pedophile is not going to see it as bad. They're going to see it as good. That person is not wrong. Both of you are subjective. This is why I say there's no such thing as heroes and villains. A hero is a villain in a story. A villain is a hero in a story. So just like, and I'm trying to teach you duality so you can transcend it. You can still believe personally it's bad, but it's not bad. It's not good. It's the law of the universe. Like it is what it is. And this is where I'm challenging your extreme beliefs because I'm using an extreme example. But in order for you to understand Mercury and Cancer, where your brain is going to discern and process psychic information, this is no longer a linear vibration. Look up universal law. You literally have to divorce from this whole notion of good and bad. Everything simply just is. And do you know why I'm telling you this right now? I'm going to say this one more time. In order to really, because Some of you are not going to do this. The reason why I'm using this extreme example, all right, by the way, bless you for having your pure heart. Contextually in our civilization, you should see that as bad. You shouldn't, the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm not trying to necessarily, do you think God implies an objective morality? Well, morality is human made, my friend. It's such a good question. The concept of God is human made. The concept of morality is human made. Every time you bring up morality, you're taking God and you're putting God in a box, and you're getting confused why God doesn't fit in your box. This is why. the same people who are saying that things are good or bad, y'all are the same people that act like, God, why do you let all this stuff happen in the world? God isn't letting anything happen in the world. Things simply are. So in order for you to understand this psychic processing of information, I'm using this very extreme example to say, hey, there's a bunch of things you think are bad that are not bad. They simply are. And if you can't accept that, this Mercury in Cancer will destroy you. It's going to oppose Pluto. The sun is literally on the verge of opposing Pluto. Pluto in Capricorn is an extreme element of personally maintaining integrity through purity or impurity. And this is why I'm using an extreme example, one that rigs you in. I want to use an extreme example that triggers you deep in your feelings, because realistically, you're going to be confronted with situations that you're going to want to process as, oh, this is something bad happening to me. This is something good happening to me. There's no good or bad things that happen to you. And this is something that's hard for fire signs and water signs to accept, because fire and water is so passionate. Fire and water with no air does not disassociate their feelings with logic. And so they're guided by their hearts. It's your heart that feels that things are good or bad. That doesn't make them good or bad. This is why a whole bunch of stuff that is good for you is actually bad. A whole bunch of stuff that is bad is actually good. There's no such thing as bad and good. So why are we talking about this again? Great question. The reason why I am talking about good and bad is because Mercury in Cancer is going to have you delineate and process metaphysical psychic phenomena that fake scientists to this day think is pseudoscientists, and frauds take advantage of people acting like they're psychic when they're not. This is not a linear good, bad, positive, negative, input, output vibration. Cancer is here, it's there. You're feeling complexities into emotions that go outside the norm of what is conventionally seen as A or B. And what you are going to experience this transit, Mercury in Cancer is going to go from July 12th to July 27th. You're going to experience phenomena in this transit that, if you think about linearly and you don't stay true to your connection to the divine outside this reality, you're going to be seeing things happen in this reality and you're going to think, oh, this is bad. Why is this happening to me? For example, this Mercury in Cancer, you're going to lose everything you love. You're going to lose your friends. This is just an example. You're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose your car. You're going to get in a horrible car accident. The stereotypically worst things would happen. And you would be like, this is bad. You would react emotionally as, this is bad. But is it bad? Especially if after that, you realize all this stuff that's cleared has made way for something that you think is amazing to happen. But is that good? Because let's take it to another extreme. Someone said, let's take it to another extreme. Okay, somebody, and the reason why I'm giving you this example is not because of bad things that will happen to you. It's because of your erroneous assumption of good. Duality is an illusion. Thank you. Everything is trash. You're truly enlightened when you realize nobody is a bad person. All of us ain't shit. Okay, but like it only takes a very important person to get that. Like we're all pure, but not really. Okay. Like everyone sucks. And it's not a bad thing. Okay. So let me give you another extreme. Somebody calls you up every day and they truly love you and they actually show you love and everything that you love in this life. They are attentive. You know what I'm saying? Like you win every single thing you ever wanted. You win the lottery. Your every dream comes true. You would think that's a good thing. You would be festive. You would be happy. But why? That's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. The only reason why you think it's good is because you have believed that in this framework of contextual understanding of your experience, to you, this equals good, but it's neither good or bad. And Angeli nailed it because it feels good, because it feels good. So the reason why I have to break this framework of good and bad is because you can be manipulated to feel certain things. Neurolinguistic programming can take experiences and take the association of goodness or badness to an experience. So you're trained to see experiences as good or bad. For example, a whole bunch of stuff can happen in your favor and you'll see that it's good. But what if the devil made those wishes come true? So that the difficulty that you would have seen as bad, you don't grow through because everything good is happening. Was it good then? It wasn't bad. It simply is. So personally, this is advanced class. Everything moving forward is advanced. Your preconceptions define your reality. Amen. I'm not making this point to scoff at people who have a moral compass. Like if you believe subjectively things are good and bad, that defines your character. Just acknowledge that it's subjective. And outside that subjectivity, you can't argue with other people who have a different compass than you because they're unique and they're them. And the reason why this is super important is now that this level of deception is reaching a higher fever pitch. Thank you, Buddha. You know what I mean? It's enabling you to really personally thank you. This is one of the most difficult points that the human mind can comprehend and accept because you've made yourself believe that for everything there has to be a reason for it. Sometimes the reason is just because. Okay. And so, in order for you to understand this transit where you're definitively going to process the psychic abilities you've been awakening, okay, you need to divorce from this whole notion that things are good and bad. All right. Someone asked, how do I feel about Ma? That's an expression of Ma, justice. All right. There's certain things that a judge will judge somebody and you'll think that it's off, where it's like, but this person did all this heinous shit. How come they're going through? And this person did all this good stuff. How come they're getting a heavier sentence? That's because judgments have nothing to do with the good or bad stuff you've done. They have more to do with the quality of your integrity and who you are as a character, which you would believe morality defines, but it only obscures. All right. Outside of that, though, be very mindful because people who deceive you will deceive you based on saying, oh, this is good for you. This is bad for you. That person is lying to you, even if they mean well. Stay away from people like that. That's emotional manipulation. Okay. This transit in the short 2 weeks is going to have you understand like never before your own psychic ability. I don't mean witchcraft. I don't mean magic sorcery. I mean psychic ability. Whereas you have mental energy, that's air. You have physicality, that's earth. You have spirit, which is fire. And then you have psychic power, that's water. Psychic phenomena ability is an aspect of your brain's function to discern subtle psychic vibrations through emotions, imagination, and pure psychology. Pure psychology enabling you to understand the intent, process, and mechanics of how people's psyches work, amongst other things. That was my makeshift definition. And so with Saturn in Aquarius, your understanding of transforming how to deal with this is like never before, grounding celestially with the knowledge of what it is you're doing, to where your silence speaks so much more. Up until this point, you are having to engage in dialogue to call out people negatively projecting on you. Now you don't have to say a word because you've done all the work. And your silence will really speak more for itself. Where now people who, if you, and a lot of you are feeling this, a lot of the same things people have said to undermine you have lost more and more power because you've gained in power, because you've kept that same energy, because you stood up for yourself. And so this truly is the counterattack. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? Shout out to Flight Boss. How you do anything is how you do everything. And personally, it really represents this element of coming into the unification of mind and heart. This is why Gemini, that represents duality, is followed by Cancer, that goes through duality into the depth of complexity through Scorpio into Pisces, which transcends duality altogether. And so we just finished a new moon in Cancer cycle where you're definitively activating new psychic power. And now Mercury is coming to process everything that the sun and your spirit has activated. This is where, relative to these new psychic abilities you're learning, Mercury is going to have you process the psychic phenomena that occurs within the space between people, within the space between your intent and what you're manifesting. This is going to be very amazing because in a short transit, literally everything, I'm not talking about 80%, literally everything that you were told you couldn't do, you're doing. You're not going to do, you're doing. However, you want to open up to abstract expressions of such, because your fake scientists have told you that outside of this material realm and reality, nothing really exists. Even though now quantum mechanics are starting to acknowledge the existence of higher dimensional realms, which can correlate to the astral realm and the causal realm, your imagination that overlaps with this real world. As such, you're going to open up to different methods and expressions of grounding abstract imagination and phenomena. So the good news of this is Mercury in Cancer, as it prepares you for Mercury in Virgo, which will fine-tune this sense of analyzation in your psychic ability. And yes, next 48 hours, huge reveals. This is going to enable you to understand at a deeper level the truth that Mercury in Gemini established what is concerning everything in your life. Mercury in Cancer is going to take this a bit deeper. Okay. And personally, what you really need to understand about this, once again, is discernment. And I love it. Not only doing, but also done. We aren't the first ones to enter in this secret place. It has already been done. That's the comment of the day. We already won. We already won. So those fighting this fight with the word of God, which is the sword, okay, are very, very aware of this element of connecting so powerfully with understanding and discerning the deeper mystery, but also the deeper substance of what things are. And so Mercury in Aries, Taurus, and Gemini established new supernatural psychic phenomena, techniques, and abilities. Moon in Cancer, Leo, and Virgo will help you now understand the deeper complexity of how these things are what they are. And this is going to really begin the process of mastering psychic ability in a way that by the time this goes into Virgo, you have successfully practically integrated these abilities into your real waking world and life, into the daily routine and habits that you do, This is going to be a subtle integrative process that by the time you master it, it's going to be in the little things and how much more supremely intuitive you are. This is where, if you still process experiences as being good or bad, this tidal wave of emotion will F you up, because you're going to be so caught in lamenting. Like, so many of you are going to get caught in your feelings. I'm not going to lie. And this is where you kind of have to be a detached asshole. Detached assholes are not assholes, they're just detached. And so certain people, it's easy for Gemini moons, Aqua moons, Libra moons, Capricorn moons, maybe even Virgo and Taurus moons to get accused of this. But certain people expect an emotion from you. If something crazy happened, certain people are going to expect, why aren't you sad about this? Right? For example, if certain, that's why people just assume that, oh well, you didn't lose anyone with coronavirus, so that's why. No, actually, I'm aware of a couple of people who died of COVID related illnesses, but like a whole bunch of people, like especially family, if they were to pass away right now, I wouldn't shed a single tear. And some people could look at that like, are you heartless? Why aren't you crying? Especially with Gemini moons. People expect us to react in a certain way emotionally, and when we don't, they think we're heartless. We're not heartless. We're just not stupid, or we're just not in our feelings. For example, there's an objective way to process emotions, and people will look at that as a disorder because you don't react as emotionally for other people. That's because certain other people don't know how to control their emotions. Other people let extreme emotions onset from experiences take them over, when realistically speaking, all of that is perceptual. Your reaction to everything is all perceptual. 50 people can look at the same thing and react differently. And so personally, for example, the reason why I wouldn't cry is because I know what death is. There's a lot of commonly, widely held assumptions that you would react to things as good or bad that are neither good or bad. The whole process of enlightenment is activating this sense of detachment to where you use your emotions. You don't let your emotions use you. And now I'm biased as fuck. That is the most moon and Capricorn thing I've ever said. I use moon, emotions, moon. And I have Saturn on my moon. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm laughing if you ask me to cry. Like, you're hilarious, honey bun. You must think I'm a moon in Cancer. And like, no offense to the water signs, because there is a therapeutic release in tears. Acknowledging your feelings. I saw Teal Swan say today that, a lot of therapists, scientists teach you how to cope. They teach you, okay, how can we get you out of your anxiety? They don't want you to feel those feelings. Ideally, you want to feel those negative feelings and then let them go. Don't hold on to them and allow your character to be brought in. Because some of you are addicted to being depressed. Some of you are addicted to depression. You're addicted to feeling that depth of emotion. And it's so much more comfortable to just be stuck in that. Don't think we don't know. It's not easy. Some of you motherfuckers, especially Cancer, my nigga. You niggas are not depressed. You just love crying. Okay, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Shoot, even some moon in Capricorn, because Capricorn is a depression energy. Y'all just love like, it's comfortable. Y'all don't think I don't know. Moon in Scorpio. Sometimes that shit feels good. Sometimes it feels good to just really sit in that negativity and just love to be miserable. And then now you start to look at things to be miserable about, because it's like, I don't know, I'm just so used to it. And then you start to hate positivity. You start to hate people who laugh around you. How can you be so positive? That Leo comes around, that Sagittarius, yay! You're like, get the fuck out of here. I want to be miserable and negative. What the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like, what the hell? I'm just trying to raise the vibration. What the fuck? And so, like, some of y'all, I used to be like that too. I'm not gonna lie. Let's welcome Fuzzy Chocolate to the ascension path. Before I knew what a Capricorn moon was, I used to really just like being not negative, but just sitting in that Eeyore vibration, just like, not even crying, just like, this smoldering negativity, like, oh, why don't things go? And you know what that reminds me of? All you motherfuckers who do that, this is you. This is you. I'm about to just give you a visual. This is you, and this is why I'm going in on y'all. Hold on. Oh, I wish I can find that video. It's so hilarious. Basically, it's that video of a baby that's in shallow water. You know the baby that's in shallow water and he thinks like, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And then the mom's like, nigga, you're in shallow water, stop. And the baby's like, oh. Or you know those babies who are just like, they're crying, or the dog who like faked the injury so that they can get like tips. Like, that's y'all. That's y'all. Y'all just want attention. Y'all just want someone to come through and just be like, I understand your feeling. No one understands me. What the hell? No one understands me. This is cancer season. No one gets my feelings. Okay, well, let me help understand. Get away from me! I need my space. No one gets me. What the hell? And like you just want someone to come through and just be like, no, I do understand you. It is what it is. Like, don't even trip. That person should have never done that. You want someone to coddle your feelings. You want someone to read your fucking mind and to just speak how you're feeling. Bitch, wake the fuck up. Bitch, wake the. We're in a spiritual warfare, bitch. Wake the fuck up, nigga. Are you seriously? Like, you will get picked up. Like, we're in a battlefield. Like, boop, 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 boop. Like, motherfuckers are dying out here. You're on some, I just want someone to understand me. That's how someone's going to understand you with these spiritual bullets. And you're going to be like, and then you go cry for real. Okay? Not get like, this is not nurture coddle energy. This is not, oh, let me lick your wounds. This is Chiron and Aries. Chiron and Aries is like, bitch, pick up that gun and we're going to go heal some shit. We're going to do some bullet healing, bitch. That's the energy we're in. I don't know what else to tell you, B. So you can keep your depression naps. I know y'all love them depression naps. You feel me? But you're going to have to at some point pep talk yourself out of this shit. Seriously, because the energy we're headed into is kill or be killed. And this is purely just, you know what I'm saying, based on your character. And so Mercury in Cancer is going to really enable you to see into the darkness of the human psyche. And the darkness of the human psyche, whereas Mercury in Gemini is going to have you in tune to what people say. And it's going to logically process. This is the logic of what people are saying. Now it's in Cancer. Now you're going to hear the tonality in what people say. Now you're not just processing the words people say. It's the feeling behind those words. It's the energy behind those words. It's the negative psychotic craziness behind those words where you're hearing it and it's just like, why do I feel that? This is crazy. Oh, this nigga's evil. Oh my God. And so you might see that as a bad thing instead of just seeing it as is. Instead of just, I'm not saying to personally, be a doormat and let things happen. But when you see things as is, you don't allow yourself to get emotionally triggered. I have to say this because Mercury is going to start off squaring Chiron right off the bat. And this is where your whole balance could be thrown off because you're emotionally reacting to what you feel is good or you feel is bad when realistically it is. And so this isn't going to happen more so. The reason why this is going to throw a lot of people off isn't because of bad things that will happen and you're supposed to just accept them like, well, these things simply are. No, Cancer is sincerity. So if you personally feel subjectively about something, feel that shit. Feel it, but let it go. Don't attach to it and don't build your identity off of these attachments. If you're the only one in the world who feels offended
by seeing pineapple on pizza, you should feel that if that's sincere to you. If the flip side is if you're feeling stuff that's not sincere to you, you need to let it go. But if that irks you, you need to feel it, but you need to let it go. You need to acknowledge, okay, that's still just a subjective opinion of mine. It's not the end of the world, even though, right? But what's really going to happen is the opposite. All sorts of seemingly good shit. We got Mars and Venus and Leo. When you get flattered, when Prince Charming comes through and everything good happens, but you realize late on it's from the devil. I'm not saying this to fear you, but hypothetically, you being in a detached method, enabling you to see things as they are, will have you see through deception. This is a little bit too good. Hold on. Not that I can't accept blessings, but that's cool. All right, that's cool. And you know what I'm saying? Some people don't necessarily want to hear that. Water signs, fire signs. Y'all want to live by your heart. And I'm not going to stop you. You're going to do what you want anyway. I'm just the extra in your movie. And some of you want to live heart rules. Some of you want to be guided and led by your emotions. And you're going to be like sheep to the slaughter, because there are emotional manipulators out here. And there are people who will take advantage of how you feel about things to deceive the living bejesus out of you. And this is where that discernment is going to not only save your life, as this transit is going to bring into motion true deceptive characters that will say everything that they need to say just to get you to follow their agenda and do what they want. And they're going to use these terms of this is good for you, this is bad for you, when realistically the whole notion of bringing good or bad is fallacious, and you should be detached and be like, this person's trying to game me, even if they mean well. Because this is what throws so many people off. You're too busy trying to figure out if someone means well or not. You forget that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Let's get it. So we're going to talk about Mercury and Cancer. This is definitely very, very, very important, because this is the transit that definitively you're going to take recently activated psychic power and you're going to process it. This is kind of similar to turning on a computer, and then the processor in that computer is taking the energy that's activated and is starting to piece it together. Okay, we have the welcome screen. Now we're having the login screen. Now the Mercury is processing, okay, this is what all this energy is. And this is where you've activated psychic power. And then Mercury is going to, within your own psyche, help you at a processed level actually manifest, utilize it. And this is you setting in the functions. So Mercury going through Cancer is, we all have the computer, but everyone sets the functions in that computer different. Some people like dark mode. Some people like regular mode. Some people like to jailbreak their computer. That's what you're going to do, Mercury and Cancer, because what? Cancer is special. And I'm going to big up Cancer again. Cancer is the special agent. All right. Sometimes you need special agent Enriquez that you just send in alone, and it's just going to fuck everything up, because you can't be around special agent Enriquez. Special agent Enriquez does not play around. And, special agent Enriquez knows certain things that other people can't do. That's why they're the special agent. That's Cancer. That's Cancer. Okay. And this is where personally, you sending in special agent Enriquez and the whole team is like, special agent Enriquez. Whoa, hold on. Is it that serious? Do we have to really? Oh, shit. All right. It's going down. Like it's like that. And you're going to really step into the special qualities of how you uniquely process information that are going to be nonlinear. Some of you are just going to up and be like, this person did 3 times. They're an op. And then someone else is going to be like, nigga, I can do that. Like, there's nothing logical to pertain that just because someone did. And on the surface, that's true. That's a fallacy. But in real life, it's going to work for you. And because that person did, you're spot on. These are the things that Mercury is going to have you key into. Very subtle, minute elements and expressions of one's feelings that key you in psychically to the truth, and not necessarily just linearly, where we bridge the linear and the nonlinear. This isn't about scoffing at the linear. This isn't about scoffing at, you know what I'm saying, modern science, because modern science still takes into account the reality of the material realm. A lot of the experiments and data compiled is still somewhat, in a sense, factual. It's not to scoff at it. It's just to acknowledge that ultimately it's trash. Here's the thing, though. Mercury and Cancer is not only going to align this processing of information in a psychic way, it's also the preface to mastering your psychic abilities. It's you putting on your psychic goggles and now manifesting the power of your magic, of your mind, and the way your mind processes experience and perceives it. So, with that being said, let us enter the piece de mobile as we start this transit off on the 11th, coming in to, of course, this transit. And relative to that, what we see here is 0 degrees. Okay. I want you to note how while we're 0 degrees Mercury in Cancer, the sun is, of course, 19 degrees. We're starting this Mercury transit with Mercury catching up to the sun, which means that our information processing is trailing our conscious awareness. For those who want a quick Mercury lesson, the Mercury retrogrades in an effort for our own processing ability to catch up with our awareness. Otherwise, Mercury would make several laps around all the planets, and our ability to understand what we're aware of will be out of whack because we'll be processing phenomena way before we're aware of it. And so we'll be picking up information that has nothing to do with what we're currently aware of. This is why most people have a Mercury after the sign, in the sign, or before the sign. You never see anything else because Mercury will go forward retrograde, and its retrograde is reevaluating everything you processed as your awareness catches up to what you're picking up on. Oh, okay, this person said that, this person said that, this person said that. And then your son comes through and then you confront that. Hey, bitch, I heard you said this. Nigga, I heard you said this, bitch. I heard you said that. And then Mercury goes back to reevaluate. Yeah, that motherfucker said that and that. And then it goes direct. And then Mercury starts to catch up to the sun. Oh, yeah, I told this motherfucker that I heard that they said this. And then Mercury catches up with the sun. And then it goes forward again. And it's like, oh, I heard this person said this. That was like my bootleg getaway of like breaking that down. But get the strap. But personally, you know, Mercury enables us to really understand what our conscious spirits are aware of through this process of reevaluation and processing ability. Let's give it up for Mercury. Mercury does a solid. And Venus, by extension, doesn't go any more than 2 signs ahead because this is our heart relative to our awareness. Okay. So personally, you know, this really goes a long way once again towards, as we can see with Mercury, 0 degrees, catching up to the sun, 19 degrees. We are catching up to this ability to process what? Psychic phenomena and psychic information. And this is where, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Clifford. Personally, Cancer doesn't get enough respect. Let me just be honest. Cancer doesn't get nearly enough respect because Cancer is a psychic gateway. If you think that we feel our imagination, right? If you think that personally, they shadow banning me, bro. You know what it is. But thank you for joining us, man. If you think that Cancer represents the emotions, which science is not yet caught up to, reasonably so, because this is not a physical element of our existence. The reason why Cancer doesn't get enough credit is Cancer, it has a pipeline to Pisces. Emotions are a pipeline out of this world. If you think the conditions of death is a 4th house thing, death is closely related to Cancer because, you know, and this is a shitty reason. I'm not giving you like the best reason here, but if you think about the realm of imagination, it's feelings that flow and give us the sight of this vibration. Vibrations are felt, right? Just like otherworldly beings are felt and sensed physically. And so as Mercury catches up to the sun, what's going to happen throughout this transit? This isn't a Mercury transit where Mercury is retrograding like Gemini, or where Mercury is going backwards. Well, it doesn't go backwards, but this is where Mercury is catching up. So what's going to happen is over the next week and a half, you're going to be gaining relevant information that will lead to a major epiphany. This is going to be badass, yo. If we go forward, personally, on the 27th, we're going to see Mercury is getting ready to catch up in Leo. All right. And just let you know that conjunction is going to be 9 degrees. Opposite Saturn, baby. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? There's going to be a time where you know transit so well, you will react. Like the fact that just happened, holy shit, that's supposed to be the reaction. But we don't really know transits like that. So, this shit just literally is over our heads. Are you serious? So you mean to tell me that Mercury is just going to nonchalantly conjunct the sun opposite Saturn retrograde? That's totally normal. That's totally normal. It's not some sacred sequence of planets going like this. Like we're literally getting set up for victory here. So this epiphany, right? The sun on Mercury is your awareness catching up with your mind's processing. And the reason why this is an epiphany is because everything you've processed matches up with everything you're aware of. And this creates a new cycle of an idea, an epiphany that makes sense literally of everything you've been processing to boom. And the fact this is going to happen across Saturn is going to establish a new understanding of knowledge relative to the experience that led up to here, similar to you learning new bike tricks. And now your ability to ride a bike is so much better because you've integrated greater knowledge. So this is going to be huge. And all of that begins with, of course, Mercury in Cancer, because this is going to slowly but surely catch up to the sun, enabling you to process in hindsight information that the sun already made you aware of. That's how you want to see it. Okay. Thank you so much. Mercury is not just catching up to the sun. The sun has left breadcrumbs. The sun has activated per degree. So everything the sun has activated, Mercury is going to be like, that's what this is. That's what this was. You were aware of this last week. That's what that was. This person was looking at you like a piece of chocolate. No, they were actually mean mugging you because they jealous. Like all sorts of like, you're going to really discern what you were aware of. Or you thought this person was mean mugging you because they jealous. No, they are actually looking at you like a piece of chocolate because they want some. Like it's crazy stuff like that. That's really going to come through. Shout out to the moon and Cancers. And so personally, what you want to really be mindful of is this sense of detachment, because we're going to have Saturn that quincunxes this. And the thing with Saturn energy in Aquarius is personally, Aquarius will fuck with your mind just to fuck with your mind. Like Aquarius is the trickster vibration. Gemini and Mercury is a trickster, but that comes from Aquarius. Aquarius and Pisces are trolls, but they're two different types of trolls. Everything happens around Pisces. Pisces doesn't have to do a single thing. And so Pisces was like, oh my gosh, I can just be a troll. I can basically make impossible shit happen, knowing that there's no possible explanation, and then I control the fuck out of people. Pisces are that evil, y'all. And then Aquarius does this more methodically. Aquarius is like, you silly humans, you think that this is social norm. So let me rebel against this just so I can show you how stupid you are for prisoning yourself in this norm. And Aquarius, and people will never know because Aquarius is put together. Aquarius is still a genius. So the fact that these niggas are trolling you is over your head. Like you wouldn't think it. Why would this person be trolling me? They wore a suit to come see me. They're dressed up so well. They're talking business. They're not childish. So they're not going to be trolling. That's why they're trolling. Why would this person lie to me? They have all these authority figures. They're well learned in the science that they do. Why would they just lie? Nigga, because you believe them blindly. So like this is troll energy. That's why Aquarius says, I know. If you don't know, you're going to get trolled, period. And Aquarius will fuck with your mind just to expose stuck patterns of thought. And if they have to mercilessly kill your feelings, ask any Cancer. That's their experience with Aquarius. And Aquarius will justify that shit. Be like, hey, you were thinking wrong, so I had to destroy your feelings. And it's like, you detached asshole, I have emotions. And Aquarius is like, I know. Ba-dunts. All right, my bad. So yeah, we start this transit off with the 1 degree trine to Jupiter retrograde, which it's now 3 degrees. And so this is facilitating your mental processing because Mercury is the brain. If you think that the sun is your spirit, your sun is a baby, okay? It's exalted in Aries, which is 0 to 3, and it's in its dignity in Leo, which is like mid-20s. And so your sun is basically like, ah, 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 ah. It's just pure conscious expression. Ah, ah, ah. Okay, baby. And so that's where Mercury comes. The reason why you're not just a babbling fool, actually, some people are still babbling fools. The reason why you're able to be like, a microphone, like literally, my brain sent neurons across synapses to facets of my own mind in order to contextualize and symbolize that this experience is now something that I'm perceiving. Nigga, that's all Mercury. Let's give it up for Mercury. Let's give it up for Mercury. Like Mercury does so much that we don't really think, just like your brain does so much that you don't really think about. The ability for me to be like, wait, this is a microphone. That's my dick. Those are legs. This is a sword. That's all mercurial. That's all processing. Your brain is stronger than a supercomputer because you can do all of that at once while autonomously having air breathe your lungs to pump blood to your brain. This shit is a miracle. This shit is a miracle. So please understand that evil space aliens have gone out of their way to dumb down the potential of what your brain can process, because it's and this whole notion that, oh, scientists have debunked that the human brain can not be used over 100%. This whole notion that you already always use 100%, bullshit. This whole notion that you can't use more than 20% of your brain, bullshit. Okay, because their brain, and let me just kill that argument now. First of all, no one uses 100% of their brain. And the whole notion that oh, you can bring your brain to 100% is a bit erroneous. Like, that's not really true. There is no percentage. However, the notion that you aren't using the full capacity of your brain's function is true. What scientists will tell you is, we've monitored the brain. And we've been able to show that brain scans show activity in your brain. And if you can use more than 100% of your brain, we would see more brain activity. Until you realize how fucking dumb that is, because you're only studying the brain. You're not studying the soul that is connected to your brain. You don't acknowledge spirit. So the whole notion that you studied brain, like you're only studying like one part of it. So that in and of itself doesn't prove that the human brain is capable of more. Even though that same study debunks a lot of commonly held assumptions of brain power. I'm not going to say all of that is wrong, but personally, the reason why many of you can harness at a supernatural level extreme brain function is your soul, is your spirit. And you know what taps one into the soul and spirit? Psychic power, Cancer. So the reason why you're able to process, oh, this is a microphone, is because of Mercury. And now you're in a position to set the energy signature of this unlimited potential as you are your soul. It's very positive and possible to acknowledge you're not a spirit or soul. Sorry, you don't have a spirit or soul. You are soul. Some of you are spirit, which is soul. And so, you know what I'm saying? Different parts of your brain have different functions. The whole brain would never be all working at the same time. That's just facts. That's just facts. And when people are necessarily talking about using 100% of your brain function, it's not necessarily about all working at the same time. If it did work all at the same time, probably wouldn't be a good thing. This is actually why your brain has limiters on your body. If your body is a lot more stronger than it is, your brain, just like Naruto, can release gates in order for you to harness more power. But that's not practical because you would tear your muscles. And so actually these limits are what keep us safe. But it's important for you to know that at will, you can harness more than what your brain limits. That concept of Lucy, that concept of limitless is not 100% bullshit. And that's really what I'm bringing up to you. The whole notion that the entire concept of bullshit is not true. It's actually based on a real concept. When you channel chakra and life force to your brain, you can actually enhance it. But if you operate off the false presupposition that you can't harness your spirit power to influence your physical and you just think it's physical, then of course that theory wouldn't be the truth. But you're literally dismissing a whole realm of yourself, because newsflash, you're not a physical being. The entirety of you is not just this flesh. You exist outside of this time and space. We know this is true because when you go to sleep or when you pass, your soul goes to another world. I don't have any physical proof of this, except I do. Hello, I'm here. You're here. You're the physical proof. And your inability to fit that into the box of conventional knowledge and science doesn't mean what you're saying isn't true. Enable this Mercury in Cancer to guide you throughout this pseudo-linear need to fit God in a box, because God will never fit in your box. God will destroy the box. Like, bitch, you trying to fit me in this? There's not a heaven that can contain me. There's not a single heaven that can contain me. You want to put me in your box. You want to put me in your earthling box in star system 5556662 with your Mars and solar system. Okay. Do you know how many galaxies I patrol? You want to put me in your earth box. And this is what a lot of your higher selves are saying, because many of you have been lied to of your divine potential by people who are materialist reductionists, and on the other side by religious fanatics who lie to you about who you're supposed to pray to. It's not just science. I at least respect the scientists because they're at least willing to experiment and to hold this very fastened level of proving what you know. That's necessary. Okay. It's just materialist reductionist is the wrong way to go about it. And personally, it's the new generation of genius minds that are going to bring knowledge of the transdimensional. We know this because they have Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So personally, those of you with those energies, this Mercury transit is going to fully integrate your psychic ability coming into Mercury and Virgo. And the trine to Jupiter, as it slowly but surely begins to square Chiron, which is going to go retrograde on Friday, is going to challenge how well you take elements of this expansion. What this trine to Jupiter is doing is it's allowing your mind to process metaphysical phenomena. Okay. This is literally expanding your brain's ability to talk to ghosts. It's just you may not know you're talking to ghosts. So the whole concept that you're not talking to a human being, you're talking to a soul that is inhabiting a physical body. All right. Imagine if this spiritual realm we overlap has this physical reality as an avatar simulation. You're not going to perceive that in this physical dimension. You're just going to perceive the physicality. Unless you're Sagittarius or Pisces, these people can start to see. If you have Neptune on the sun, if you have Uranus, Neptune on the moon or sun, you can literally feel the interdimensionality of your being. By the way, for those of you who look at me and you're like, wow, this man is well educated, this man is well learned. No, I'm not. I'm actually dumb as fuck. You recognize what I'm saying because you're the smart one. A lot of what I'm saying can go over your head, but you literally understand it. That's because you're the smart one. I'm just a reflection of your own intelligence. I'm an aspect of you. So that being said, this is very important because that boost we're gaining while Jupiter is in Pisces is going to literally advance your ability to process the psychic phenomena and experiences you're having. What does this look like? Somebody is on the phone with you talking about puffer fishes, and then you look to your left and a truck passes by with the word puffer fish on it. That's a supernatural experience and synchronicity where the timing, and that's all on you, you would naturally look out and be like, oh, my spirit guide sent me a message. But no, that was you. Because at an unconscious level, you made a series of decisions to be at a certain place at a certain time. So the whole notion that you knew what you were doing and you brought yourself to a position so that you would say this and see that, that's all you, baby. That's all you, my friend. But you don't know how to look at it in a way that's non-linear, and so you think, oh, it's outside of me. This is what Mercury and Cancer, by the time we reach the end of this transit, you'll take all that power back and you'll recognize, oh, there is an abstract, interdimensional, unconscious, non-linear, metaphysical, pertaining to not physical aspect of myself that is more real than this physical aspect. You see, just because nerve endings are going to my brain and telling me that this is real doesn't mean I exist. That's the craziest shit I've ever said. And I've said a lot of crazy shit. But personally, this is what is slowly but surely enabling you to understand this sense of this psychic part of you, which the best thing you can say is, I don't know what that is. Good. That means you're ready to learn. So personally, we go off of this trine first. It's going to expand this experience. What's up, Razy? And as the retrograde of Chiron occurs, and then we square, this still hurties a little bit, but not really. This is going to immediately challenge how deeply you feel about your sincere character. In that, Chiron is going to bring maybe insecurities about your identity. And the way to understand the Chiron and Aries Cancer square is, if I were to call you a stupid meanie head, you're a stupid meanie head. I just kind of attacked your character. And your ego is going to be like, you called me a stupid meanie head. But then the Cancer is like, but should I really feel triggered about that? Because I know how I feel about myself inside. I know I don't feel like a stupid meanie head. And so there's wisdom in Cancer where you get to decide, do you get in your feelings? They're really calling me a stupid meanie and I'm going to look at them mean. Or you're just going to be like, oh, this person is just merely reflecting, their opinion of me as a stupid meanie head, but I don't have to necessarily feel like one. And personally, this is going to help you really gain a deeper understanding of how you personally express your sincere reactions to identifications of your character. And this isn't just projections. This is how you also talk to yourself. This square is going to challenge the negative or positive self-talk and reinforcement you have with yourself, because the square to Mercury is going to take at a deeper level this healing of the masculine assertion of your character, so that everything that you do, you're feeling it at a deeper level. And let's actually explain the cardinal cardinality of action. Whenever you see this action I'm taking, the action that I'm taking in talking to you is activating all cardinal signs. I'm individually as an Aries activating my character and expressing my sincere feelings. Well, that's opposite Libra and Capricorn. As I'm simultaneously saying that, my actions are being judged at a collective level. And as I'm taking that action, those of you with cardinal squares feel the friction. Aries sees this, especially where your individual action simultaneously real time evokes a reaction. This is a law of physics where as you're doing it, that tension with the square starts to influence what you're doing based off of the reaction of how other people think and feel about what you're doing, which influences what you're doing. For example, if I were to talk and then I look that everyone is starting to stare at me meanly, that might influence how much more confidently I say what I say. And this is where all of these cardinal signs work with this tension and friction to make more powerful or smother and weaken an action. And so Cancer brings the emotional, psychic, non-linear, non-material aspect of action, where what is the cardinal action? Because every cardinal sign is an action, right? So the cardinal action of Libra is to speak or to think or to telepath. It is a mental action where thinking is a verb, speaking is a verb. I'm literally cardinally directing my thoughts, my individual thoughts, Gemini, at you. I'm Libraing you right now. I'm going to Libra you so hard. Well, Cancer is feelings. It's the actual cardinal action of feelings. And so in between Aries, my individual action and what I'm communicating to you, my feelings are going to balance and influence how Virgo, sincerely Cancer, I Libra you. Am I going to be monotone and not really like say anything and just like not pay attention to you? Pay attention just to be elsewhere and just sound monotone and lifeless? Or am I going to put heart into what I'm saying, look you in the eyes and actually feel what I'm saying and strengthen it in Libra and Leo and articulate it with Virgo and Libra, the Libra out of you? Like that all depends on Cancer. Cancer is literally the fuel on how deep what you're saying is, how much substance what you're saying has, and most importantly, the psychic phenomena here. I want to really bring your attention to July 18th. The 17th and the 18th and the 19th are going to bring a very important grand water trine, while Mercury makes an opening quincunx to Saturn. Once Mercury makes his quincunx to Saturn, we have to acknowledge that the first decan of Mercury traveling through Cancer is going to personally establish the unique and individual emotions that you process experiences with. And so in its sub-rulership of the moon, this is really just going to have you process how you naturally feel about everything. Okay, so that the second decan, where we start to get fun here, where we're now sub-ruled by Pluto, we're intensifying and transforming that base feeling. We're intensifying and transforming that base feeling with techniques, knowledge, and an understanding of what you're feeling. Whereas before you didn't know, but now you will, because now we have this Aquarius of how to transform the strength of those feelings now that you know what you're doing. How ironic. We have the transformative quincunx while Mercury is subruled by the transformative Pluto. And this is where it's going to get fun, because we're going to have the square to Chiron. We're going to have the quincunx to Mercury, to Saturn retrograde. And commonly, widely held assumptions you've had about social interaction and about what you feel about things will shatter. This is where we're going to step more into the shitstorm. Obviously, this is going to be opposite during the opposition too. But this is where personally, you're going to start to transform how much you utilize this budding psychic mastery. This is where you're going to, and this is so very important. We're dealing with this whole notion of the unconscious manifestation of your psychic power. We have to still acknowledge that up until this point, a majority of the infinite wellspring of the ocean of the sea of chi within you is still very unconsciously being manifested, because your conscious is only aware of this much and your subconscious is literally processing everything. And so you are literally integrating with your own unique pure element where you've established your character. Now you're going deep within to uncover the treasure in Leo and bring it back out through your social environment and then wrapping around again. So personally, this is where you're going to start to transform neural pathways in your mind to understand at a more conscious level the psychic phenomena and abilities you've been doing and what you're mastering. This is where, because of that transformation in relation to the collective around you versus what you're doing individually, and through that experience being able to deduce what's actually happening, this is going to fine tune and integrate more supernatural abilities, supernatural psychic power. Whereas it came from your heart unconsciously, now you're processing more of what it is you're doing. And that's where the square to Chiron retrograde in Aries is going to change elements of your character, because it's like, well, Mercury in Cancer is going to be like, well, this person called me a stupid meanie head, but I got a higher grade than them in the test. This person's acting dumb as hell. I actually know what I'm doing. This is where your own actions will overcome any insecurities you have. Wow, I thought I wasn't courageous enough to talk to my crush, but my crush is swanning over me. Like, I just said 3 words and she eating down my hand. Like I must be more confident than I thought. And we're gonna see Mars and Venus conjunct in Leo during this period, which is going to manifest more of this courage and passion of everything that at such a deep psychic level you're processing and you're aware of. Damn, Lemon's reading. I see you. That's what's up. So around this period, we see the sun is going to trine Neptune retrograde. And as Mercury sextiles Uranus, that's where the fun begins. The moment we have that sextile, we have to remember that Mercury, a couple months prior, was conjunct Uranus. And this was a cycle that had us manifest the uniqueness of our power and our value. And so we're extending forth that manifestation in actual power and expression of that value through actions that unconventionally express the supernatural and extra dimensional quality of this power. In other words, a superpower. It's a definitive superpower breakthrough. And with the moon that's going to be ascending on the south node, this quincunx, or this yod that's made with the moon in Sag, as well as Uranus in Taurus and Mercury in Cancer, is going to make you receptive to the higher meaning, moon in Sagittarius, of this transformation of your physical body. Because remember, a lot of this awakening, you're not just awakening one time. A lot of this activation, awakening, integration, and an activation, awakening, integration is happening cyclically, evidenced by the moon's transit. And so this is, every time this comes back around, more so and more so transforming your understanding relative to where the sun is aware every time. And it's going to be another breakthrough moment with the sun at the end of Cancer, where you're feeling now. This is going to be the first time you're actually feeling at a deeply emotional level how much you've changed and evolved, because you're tapping into these upgrades that your body's coming into. And now, personally, this is where, with the quincunx to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, you are processing psychic information and phenomena that personally is still not acknowledged by the collective as being conventionally mainstream or true. It's a fancy way of saying you're going to be dealing with SFIs. SFIs are still, unfortunately, very rampant. And of course, SFIs are stupid fucking idiots who, instead of listening to you to understand, will dismiss the truth of what you're saying because it just challenges what they believe. And so whereas they can open their mind to something they don't fucking know, they're going to act like they know when they don't, making them stupid fucking idiots. For example, I have stupid fucking idiots act like I'm a pseudoscientist, because I am open with the fact that I'm psychic, and they will tell me that psychic ability isn't real, but you can't convince me psychic ability isn't real. I have done tarot card readings for people where I have discerned, without the use of Barnum statements, actual phenomena detailed that I'm not supposed to know, but I knew. And there's no other way I would know that unless I was psychic. Psychic pertaining to the discernment of subtle vibrations, which are not linear, that enable me to, whether through precognition or clairvoyance, understand that which I wasn't there through. How? Through a vibe, through a feeling that travels through dimensions, time, and space, non-locally and non-linearly. We're not going to wait for science to catch up to this, because magic is science, and we are the scientists that people will never admit we are, because each and every single one of you is a walking live experiment with controlled variables that you toggle every day. And so, in that sense, this is where you're going to be transforming a lot of the rhetoric around what is or is not possible. Hence, Uranus carrying the theme of innovation, especially remote viewing. Okay. It's going to be more common to see people post 40s and 50s awaken these higher powers because they're coming through the Uranus opposition and other such completing factors like a Saturn return. So personally, you want to really make sure you're able to identify theoretical models and hypotheses that have been pushed as fact, which is rampant around so much in scientific and spiritual communities. By the way, everything that I'm saying against the scientific community is not a defense of the spiritual community. The spiritual community is fucking trash. So like, both of you niggas can get it. The scientific community and the spiritual community. Like, I'm sticking the flaming sword up all your asses, okay? And I truly believe that those of you who are authentic on your spiritual path, you're not a part of a spiritual community. You are an individual. You're not in a box. You're not a part of the spiritual community. You're you, okay? And no one is a part of just some community that was made up. You feel me? Like, this is where Cancer is going to enable you to deeply understand. If you notice, ever since Cancer season, family has been brought up. How is your sense of identity correlated with where you think you're from? Aries is just the individual, your first name, but Cancer is your last name. If you think about it, you have your first name, but then you have your family name. Family opposite Capricorn, which is instilled with tradition. And whether you admit it or not, the formulative years of your life and how you grow up, Cancer, of course, correlating to like 9 to 12, is very, very much so influenced by where you're from, especially if you didn't have a family that's similar to, like, this is going to make up your character. And so Cancer really dives deeper into these familial relations with others and or yourself in order to add the color and depth of who you are. So some people don't have depth and substance. Some people are superficial as fuck. And so personally, even superficial people, though, still have depth within them. This King Kunks here in Yod is going to further the narrative of now having you be the living expression of everything that you were told isn't possible. I'm possible. That's impossible. I'm possible. You are possible. And around the next week of July, this is going to be less of a very positive, pseudo spiritual, intellectual saying. This is going to be your reality. It's going to be like, holy shit. I somehow was able to discern that somebody was going to hit me from a car because I had a vision. And there was no way I had to know that, but to just trust my intuition. And if I were to listen to what science taught me, I would have thought that I was crazy and died. So this is where there really is life and death. Okay. The expressed image of the invisible God. Amen. And now this is where personally, when we start to, the Cancer is holiness. The spirit is the sun. Cancer sun is the Holy Spirit. It's not limited to just Cancer sun. But this is where, when we start to deal with the Holy Spirit, when we start to deal with elements of witchcraft and the taboo, the reason why it's mainly just ordained ministers and not just anyone can step into this path, it is aligning yourself with God and the armor of God that helps you discern between familiar spirits and helps you know what you're dealing with in the abstract. This is why God keeps physical things physical and spiritual things spiritual. There's certain spiritual laws that principalities follow that are not necessarily like the physical world we live in. And so our curiosity pulls us to really understand these answers. When I do divination, when I necessarily divine stuff like this isn't because I just want to be curious. I'm inspired and called to do this as a messenger to bring messages out there. I'm not necessarily doing this for likes, views, and to put on a show, which is a taboo expression of this, mainly because when you delve in stuff like that and you're crossing the line, you're not physically aware of who you're dealing with. And this will open you up to deception. Now you have crazy motherfuckers saying, oh, God channeled that I need to do this. This is God did not tell you to do that, my dude. So this is where you do start to see some rhetoric from certain religious figures being like, oh, this is evil. This is of the devil. No, it's not of the devil. It's that you're not ordained to do it. This is why when Jesus was born, the astrologers that found him, if you think about all the people who study religious texts, they didn't know where to find Jesus. It was astrologers who did. Why? It's not because astrology is good or bad. It's because just like in that same Bible, day 4 of Genesis, where God created, it literally says God created astrology in the Bible. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna show you right now. And it just perplexes my mind. Boom, 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 boom. It's just people who don't understand astrology or have never studied it are not the people to tell you it's of the devil, because they can't even reference what astrology is. That should be the biggest red flag. But my dude or God, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. And God said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years. Nigga, that is astrology. Nigga, that is literally astrology. If anybody ever tells you that astrology is not of the Bible, tell them bitches Genesis 1:14. It literally, let them serve as signs to mark sacred times. What the fuck do astrologers do every day? They look at the stars in the signs, and what do they serve as? Literal signs. And these niggas will tell. This is why Jesus in Revelation said, yo, I don't fuck with the church, because these niggas act like they worship me, but they ain't really about it. They're just arguing about doctrine, but they're not really helping the sick and the poor. It literally, it fascinates me, nigga. It literally says it right there. And let there be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. Like, are you serious? God made 2 lights, one to govern the day, the lesser to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, to separate light and darkness. Now, there's a divinatory art to astrology, right? Which is not of God. The moment motherfuckers start worshiping planets, God made the stars, not so that you can worship them, not so that you can pray to the stars. That's not astrology. A lot of what people say is astrology, that's demonic. That's not astrology. That's witchcraft. And God said it was good. Anybody who says astrology is of the devil is a liar, because God said astrology was good. Literally, he made the stars. All astrology is an advanced delineation interpreting the language of the signs and wonders that are of the stars. So God made it, but these are the same Christians that will make an image of God, which is against the second commandment. So like personally, that's it. All that extra shit is not astrology, B. All these people worshiping the planets, doing all this crazy nakshatra shit to like fatal. That's not astrology. That's pseudoscience. That's placebo astrology. Astrology is Mercury is in this sign. Saturn is in this sign. That's it. That's it. Interpretation is now an art form, but the science of astrology is just mapping that out, looking at signs and wonders. It's what God created for us, and he saw it was good. So let's nip that in the bud. And if you want proof, any single person who says astrology is bad, ask them if they've ever read a natal chart in their whole life. They haven't, so they don't know what they're talking about. Period. Reference Genesis 1:14 and then ask them, how is this not astrology? They don't understand what astrology is. They either think astrology is summoning ghosts or talking to planets. And it's like, homie, stop begging the question. You looking stupid out here. So other than that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the wise men who read the stars and wonders and was able to find Jesus Christ and give him gifts. You want to be like them, not these Pharisees who are telling Jesus, it's the Sabbath. It's the Sabbath. You're healing people on the Sabbath. What's wrong with you, Jesus? All you do is hang out with these nobodies and you drink this alcohol. How are you a religious person? You drink alcohol. Fun fact, Jesus used to drink with the homies. He wasn't just turning water into wine. You're hanging out with these nobodies. You're hanging out with tax collectors. You're healing on the Sabbath. What's wrong with you, Jesus? How can you say you're the Son of God and you're healing people on the Sabbath? And Jesus is like, look, I'm not hanging out with nobodies. I have to heal the sick. I'm not going to heal people who are healthy. And excuse me, nigga, I'm going to heal people whether it's the Sabbath or not. This law was not meant to be, scrutinized like so. You know what that sounds like? People in the Christian church today, people in spirituality today. Okay, talking about you ate meat. That's not spiritual. You're cursing all the time. You're not spiritual. You're not living your life the spiritual way. You don't do it like ABC. What's wrong with you? You're a Pharisee, nigga. That's what's wrong with you. You're a fucking Pharisee. And I think that irony is lost on you. A lot of you niggas are Pharisees and you will never admit it. You eat meat. How can you say you're spiritual but you eat meat? How can you say you're spiritual but you listen to this music? How come you hang out with these people? You're a Pharisee, nigga. You're a Sadducee. It is what it is. Take it for what you mean. And this is where, if you get yourself out of this whole good and bad matrix and you tap in to things as they are, then personally, you're going to start to see through duality in a way that taps you into your psychic ability like never before. And as we get back into the Peacemobile, the 19th and the 20th is a very pivotal period because this is going to prepare you accordingly to really move forward. Okay. And shout out to Dustin, man. Every man is right in his own eyes. The word is more than a book. The word by the Spirit made all things. The scribes and the Pharisees judge according to the flesh. Jesus said, I judge no one. The only thing that makes the word of God no effects is the traditions of man. Facts. And shout out to Dustin, because Dustin will always remind that it's the Spirit that gives life to the body. And this is all about fine-tuning your spirit in a material dimension that wants you to believe that you don't have a spirit. You only live once. You're just a flesh suit. And when you die, that's it, nigga. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, so personally, let's really reflect, because everything up until July 20th is going to set you up to become super psychic. After July 20th, look at me. you're super psychic now. And some of you are already super psychic now. So this is just going to boost this. And I'm talking about uncomfortably psychic, knowing what people are feeling and thinking before you even talk to them, having to confront those. All right. And when I say detach to your feelings, I'm not saying to spiritually bypass. I'm not saying to not acknowledge how you feel and suppress. That's actually my biggest problem, because I have moon Saturn. I don't even feel my feelings. Just suppress that bitch. I'm not saying to suppress your feelings. If tears come out, let them come out. You're not going to see me cry. I'll make the song cry. But you are going to find ways to express these outlets, and you must acknowledge how you feel, but don't attach. Feel it, let it go. Because this is going to put you in your feels. And a lot of what you're going to feel is not you. A lot of what you're going to feel is just your mind processing the excess psychic phenomena that your brain can only believe is coming from yourself, because you're individually processing it, when you could just be in the room of a lot of psychic energy pertaining to the nonlinear unseen emotions in the room. That it exists. It's just because you don't see it, it's not like it's not there. It's a vibe. And so with that being said, personally, let's even break this down. If you think about Aries, right, your spirit sees a vision. This vision influences your actions. That's Sagittarius, 9th house of Aries. Aries sees a vision. Taurus sees integrity. The physical actions that are taken, oh my bad, to actually ground physically in value, your physical body, right? Gemini sees knowledge. It's the 9th house of your thoughts is based on knowledge that influences your thoughts. And that sense of philosophy that with Sagittarius guide your character, the knowledge will guide your thoughts. Well, Cancer, okay, sees through Pisces. All right. And this is where personally you're seeing the unseen through a vibe, through a feeling, a transcendent vibe, which is nonlinear expressly because Pisces represents the beyond. What is beyond linear notions of time and space, representing every single experience in one, feeling everything in one, which is going to be confusing unless you're able to discern. And this is where post the 20th, you're super psychic. This leads us to the 24th and the 25th near the end of this transit, where we're going to have Mercury not only trine Neptune, but also quincunx, or rather oppose Pluto. And that opposition to Pluto is going to awaken at a deeper level this element of you personally grounding the awakening of your power and how much more psychically you can process information. And yes, air does see water. And this is fascinating to me. If you think that, okay, if I think something, everything that I think, if it's not grounded in reality, I'm going to be fucked up. If I'm driving a car and I think that I can fly off a cliff, I'm going to die. Unless I figure out how to use my spirit energy to fly, I'm going to die. Because gravity, the theory of gravity dictates that we're going to fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. And, you know, this is where Earth is 4th house to air. If you think how Earth squares air, the reason why Gemini squares Virgo and Libra squares Capricorn is that everything that I think has to have some basis in reality. Otherwise, I'm going to drive my car off a cliff because I thought I could fly. I thought that my car could fly, right? Unless you're on acid. This follows more now water being squared by air. This fascinates me. I love this about astrology. All the elements put each other in check. So it's like earth beats air in rock, paper, scissors. Air beats water in rock, paper, scissors. Water obviously beats fire, but fire beats earth. And so this is where everything I think has to be based on reality. That's the earth putting air in check. Well, everything you feel has to be based in logic, right? Because if I feel, oh, that person's looking at me a certain way and intuitively I feel like they don't like me. Meanwhile, that person's looking at you because you remind them of somebody. That means your feelings aren't true. And so the square from water to air means that everything you feel has to be based in logic, just like everything you think has to be based on reality. And this is where air understands water, like earth understands air. Libra is going to understand the individual Cancer feeling based on where it plays out, Libra, socially with other people. And understanding that is what lends air to be insensitive to water, but water to psychically integrate with air. Okay. And so, yeah, if there's nothing you got from this transit talk, the purpose of this Mercury is to, during Mercury in Cancer, upgrade, evolve, and awaken a deeper and more powerful ability for your mind to process psychic phenomena and information. None of which is new. You do this every year. You literally do this every year. Oh, this is such a good question. Are astrologers being led to anyone during our lifetime like they were Jesus? Every day. And not just astrologers. Everybody is being led to everything. You're just not right. It's just, there's just not a book being written about it. That's such a fascinating question, by the way. Yeah. It's just nothing. No one's writing a book on it. And you have to think that everything that's ever happened, we only have a minute understanding because only so much is written about it. So we don't know everything about everything. But personally, we do this every year. Every day, every transit is representative of a firmware update. Kind of like how iPhone finesses you with upgrades to your phone, except these upgrades are actually doing something. No offense, Apple. But yeah, personally, Mercury is coming back around to integrate. Every time Mercury comes back in a sign, it's like tying gauze. It's literally integrating more and more. And so let's actually go back in time. What happened last year when we were processing psychic information? Well, last year we were awakening. So we had Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. The whole world was being finessed with a fake scam. And this person, because they're real scams and they're fake scams. But Mercury was processing psychic phenomena relative to the deep DNA core activation that was awakening within your body. There was no Jupiter in Pisces to expand your ability to process the unseen and to now start to process unseen metaphysical phenomena in relation to your reality because you haven't awakened that ability. There was no Saturn in Aquarius. There was no contextual knowledge to know what we're doing. Shit, what happened the year before that? What? You mean to tell me Jupiter was in Sagittarius? So we still haven't even evolved our ability to see into the unseen yet? Thank you. So that's what makes this different than other previous versions. Now, our mastery of psychically processing our phenomena. And I have to say psychically processing because not all processing is the same. The processing of your mind is processing what? Psychic phenomena. And now I want you to be mindful of the weakness of people. A lot of people are inherently weak. Anyone who is secure in themselves, okay? If you were to say something that goes against someone's beliefs, but that person is secure in themselves, that person is simply just going to be like, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying, but help me elaborate. Let me understand what you're saying. There's nothing that you're going to say that's going to make me insecure. I don't have to agree with what you're saying. You can believe what you want. I'm not going to spread an ad hominem fallacy and attack your character because what you're saying disagrees with me. I'm secure in myself. I have a lot of insecure bitches running around here to where because what you communicate and believe is controversial to them, they're going to project, oh, you're delusional. You're weird. When it's not that you're delusional. It's the cognitive dissonance that at an unconscious vibrational level, you expressing what you express irks them within because it challenges and threatens their framework of reality. Something that if they were secure in themselves, whether they're right or wrong, wouldn't shake up. And so that reaction is only going to come from an insecure bitch. Sorry. Is only going to come from an insecure SFI. Stupid fucking idiot. And I'm not holding back. Like, I'm going in, because we as a collective have normalized stupidity and mental illness. And this is where, moving beyond the 20th, you're going to smash and integrate into social interactions a much more knowledgeable with Saturn and Aquarius, and experienced with Neptune and Jupiter and Pisces understanding of psychic phenomena. This isn't about you proving yourself to people. This isn't about you explaining stuff to people. You have been on this path and journey for over 10 years. So you don't owe it to anybody to sit down and unpack 10 years worth of experience to someone's peanut-sized brain who's not willing to even understand what you're saying. Let people project what they want. People are making the decisions they're making to not believe in certain things. That's where they are in their life. It's not for you to prove it. Let your actions do that on their own. Keep it moving, because there are people who are receptive to what you're doing. And let us welcome Nina to Yin Yang Master. And so when we have our webinar, okay, we are going to be looking, I'm going to make sure that Yin Yang Master, God Squad, and Infinity Club get the link to that webinar. And so personally, all this is leading into Leo season. By the time we end Mercury and Cancer, we'll be in Leo. And this is where, with Saturn and Aquarius, all the Leos are gonna remind you why they're the main character and be like, I think you motherfuckers forgot I'm the main character. But it is the celestial glow up that, in this celestial glow up, will very powerfully, magically, and energetically establish your role in this central collective plot. If you didn't know life was a movie, it's going to obviously be one Leo season. And you need to know, what role do you play in this movie? How are you going to glow up this Leo season? Well, make sure you hit the link in the description box below. I have monthly peace reports. If you see, of course, the ticker down here, I have monthly peace reports available, $24.99. If you instead get the Yin Yang Master membership, which is $24.99, it's included in that membership every month. This is not a report you want to miss. I have the Aquarius goddess, Karen, the Aquarian high priestess. She is legit. There's not a single, and you know what? I just kind of want to show love to Aquariuses, especially Aquarius women. To this day, I have not met a single Aquarius woman who has not enriched my life. And I don't always agree with certain things they agree with, because we have individual beliefs, but like, I have not had a conversation, even though Aquariuses will talk your ear off for hours. I have not met a single Aquarius woman who has not enriched my life with straight up knowledge, from Sharon to Karen. The reason why I rap is because of an Aquarius girl who was 14 when I was 16 in Shawnee Mission Northwest in Kansas, who inspired me to start rapping with her, Outcast style. And she played the guitar and sang my North Node in Aqua, right? It's Aquarius personally that leads me forward. And so I definitely, can say that about many people, not just Aquarius, Gemini, especially. I don't know of a single Gemini that I personally, you know what I'm saying, haven't been enriched by, especially a Gemini woman. The only one who I can think of is Amber Khan, and I still love Amber Khan to this day. Like, I don't even think it's the Gemini in her, it's the Virgo moon. I'm gonna blame the Virgo moon, but outside of that, there's not a single Gemini woman who I don't think is fucking amazing. Even Gemini men, all right? And that's just my fucking air bias. Astrology has helped me really love every single zodiac sign, okay? Especially the ones that challenge me. So personally, we're gonna have the OG Aqua woman, Aquarian high priestess, on this monthly piece report. Okay, and also we're gonna have Thomas Michael. All right, a star and a stellar, and this is personally going to be an amazing. Let me not blame Virgo moon. I love Virgo. I have a Capricorn moon, so I love Virgo moon. That's my fifth house. I was just being tongue in cheek. It's really the Aries energy. I'm just joking. But personally, yeah, this is where uh we're going to really go for broke, and we're going to break down. I'm going to break down per zodiac sign what to expect this Leo season, and how, based on your rising and sun, this will really set up what role you're playing and how this is going to celestially glow you up. So personally, I also have my half off sale miracle. If you look at the description box below, for those of you who want the life-changing miracle code, for to understand how Jupiter and Pisces is going to literally induce a life-changing miracle, and it's still occurring, use miracle. If you don't want to know that but still want half off, this lasts until July 27th. I still have seats open. You want to take advantage of this. This will be the last sale I do in a while. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to step into the readings. But before we do that, if we do a quick ritual, I want you to blank out all distractions and just set an intention. What is the intention that you want to make for Mercury in Cancer? Once again, Mercury in Cancer is going to personally have you process psychic information pertaining to the nonlinear metaphysical phenomena of subtle vibrations that are sensed through energy and motion, emotions, Cancer, and psychic impressions. Not linear analytical impressions like body language, like reading body language, but more based on how people feel, stuff that you just kind of know, psychic epiphanies. Please understand that the whole notion of psychic phenomena, the children who are born in the 90s, in the 2000s, and the 2010s are going to introduce scientific literature that will have us understand. You see how we're kind of in the dark about psychic phenomena? Your kids understand that shit. Like, they're going to break it down. Literally, there are people in the 60s, 70s, 50s who've done this, but y'all called them crazy. Y'all scoffed at them. They literally came down here to do this, and unfortunately, we as a collective shat on them, and that's unfair to them, because they literally paved the way for us. But your kids and your kids' they're not gonna play that. Like, they have Uranus and Neptune and Aquarius and Pisces, and they're gonna literally delineate this because they can tap more into those realms. Whereas the older generation, we had more of the energy in the first zodiac sign, so we were more physical, we were more conventional. But other than that, the one thing that I want to share here is, with the opposition of Mercury to Pluto, with the quincunx of Mercury to Saturn in Aquarius, and with the square of Chiron to Mercury, really get comfortable with people acting like you're fucking delusional. Because of what you don't say, because of just certain ways you think, because of ways you incorporate and embrace your psychic ability. The processing of your psychic phenomena will cause you to express certain things like, oh, their energy was off, I don't trust them. And certain people will not acknowledge that you can't, that's bullshit. Like, you can't just read energy when you can read energy. So this is where your individual processing, Mercury in Cancer, is countering and opposing collective, widely held assumptions that you're going to smash and basically put in its place, because it's dead. It's based on an old world of dumb motherfuckers who don't know shit. And I'm not talking about the older generation of wise way showers who are the reason why we have this here today. I'm talking about the people who got in their way. And so, in order for you to really embrace this, just know that to this day, certain people still don't know their rising sign, and they think it's pseudoscience. When, shout out to Vin Diesel, you don't know your rising sign, bro? And so listen, the best advice I can give you through this transit is Vin Diesel, motherfuckers. You don't know your rising, bro. Everybody who doesn't know their rising sign. And just say it like they're the dumbest motherfucker ever, because technically that is pretty dumb. Like, you're really illiterate if you don't know your rising sign. And that's sad because you're not necessarily made to see that that's essential to know. Okay. So really keep that same energy. You don't know who your spirit guides are, bro. You don't know what clair you have. And you're not saying this to joke, like this is serious. You're literally bringing this into culture. Okay. You don't know family. Okay. So keep that in mind. And with that being said, I'm now going to open the spot for live readings. But before we do, I want you to really set that intent, right? What are you intending to master? What is your mind intending? Just let whatever your mind comes to your mind, focus on that. Set that intention, release that intention, and stay focused, because the moon in Cancer taps you into your inner voice. And this is going to guide you intuitively as the moon will trine Neptune. And if you're ready to be super psychic, the purpose of this is once Mercury goes into Leo, now that your brain has fine-tuned relative to these outer planets, how and what psychic information you're processing, now you're going to have the courage to express that through Leo. This is going to gain creativity that you'll master in Virgo. No wonder. She's legit. And yes, say it in the most judgmental way possible. Okay. Period. Like, match the same energy they'd give you for believing in astrology, and be like, you don't know your rising sign. You literally have to reflect that. And it is what it is. So personally, what this is also going to fine tune is your own special way of communication. And some of you have a special language you communicate that to other people sounds stupid. Some of you feel intimidated because you don't say things in the proper scientific or conventional way. And this transit is going to teach you that you're smarter than people who say things in the conventional way, and that saying things in a conventional way alone is not enough to denote that you're smart or know anything. And so you're going to be surprised where it's like, wow, this person sounds so knowledgeable. You think that they would know what they were talking about, and then the whole time they didn't. So anyway, congratulations. I'm now going to open up for live readings. I have super chat available. Shout out to Nancy. I have PayPal. I have Venmo. I'm going to go in the order that these are received. And personally, this is how we going to do it. So I'm going to go down the zodiac signs. Aries, Aries moon, Aries rising. Okay. The Mercury in Cancer, the card I'm going to pull for Mercury in Cancer, as far as, you know, the outcome and what lesson, is the Four of Pentacles, where you're coming into a very natural grounding of earthly power, and you're coming into assured material gain. Now, this is where linearly, I can be like, Mercury is going to be in your fourth house. And so to make sense of this card, we're not making sense of shit. And the whole notion of trying to make sense of things through conventional reasoning and logic is actually blocking your potential. I'm not saying to just, you know, remember, like I said before, your thoughts have to be aligned with reality, but reality is a lot more than the conventional logic that you've been chained to believe. So I'm not going to explain it. Four of Pentacles, assured material gain. This is where, with this nonlinear thought, we're just vibing with what we pull, and evidence will come shortly after that. The more we believe, trying to Neptune, what it is we're experiencing, to either show we were wrong and or right. And so we have this for you, Aries. Four of Pentacles, you getting that money. Taurus, Taurus moon, Taurus rising. Yeah. We have the Eight of Swords. Mercury in Cancer is going to expose more so stuck patterns of thought that will enable you to change your thought life by changing your mind. And so you're going to be feeling stuck, and this is going to erase limiting beliefs. And you're going to slowly but surely, I hate this card too. The only reason why I like it is because you can slowly but surely change your mind by addressing those limiting beliefs and literally changing those thoughts one by one. Gemini, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. Aquarius is actually exalted in Virgo. Mercury is exalted. Mercury is the only planet that is exalted in the same sign it has its dignity, and that's Virgo. So we have 10 of Cups. Okay, Gemini. Gemini, you're going to be stepping into great bliss. And this is going to be fulfillment, mainly because of a completion of certain endeavors in your life that produce great happiness, or really coming into an epiphany that really steps you into more bliss. This is amazing. Lots of harmony. Cancer. Cancer moon, Cancer rising. We have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords, moon in Libra, is you. Ironically, this makes sense. Mercury in Cancer wants you to rest more on logic than emotions. So it's saying trust your feelings, but balance your feelings with logic. Don't make emotionally ruled decisions if you haven't considered and weighed the logic of it. That way, you won't necessarily be influenced to do things you don't want to do. I feel like a lot of you Cancers will be coming into a lot of tea, but you're not going to be dishing the tea. And that's out of wisdom. Leo moon, Leo rising. We got the star. I'm not going to be surprised. This is lit. That's you. You're the star. Leo, honestly, this could even be a dream coming true. So a lot of rejuvenation and faith is being restored. But I feel like Mercury in Cancer is going to brighten up what's possible for you. I'm getting the sense that maybe a bunch of shit happened to you, and maybe you might have been discouraged. And then this is going to be like, oh, wait, I'm me. I don't have to worry about shit. Virgo moon, Virgo rising. This could also be an encounter with someone famous or someone inspiring that really recognizes you. So Leo, I'm going to say recognition too. Virgo. We have the Ace of Swords, Epiphany City. And okay, I get the sense that you're going to have this sword and you're just going to break people's illusions. Hey, I got receipts. You're delusional. Hey, you're delusional. Hey, you see that thing? It's not even based in science, bro. So like, you're just going to be ruining people's dreams with facts. I love you, Virgo. But also I feel like you're going to come into great epiphanies where like anything you're unclear of, Mercury in Cancer is just going to really uncover the true meaning of it. So this is going to be a new idea, Virgo, that you run with, and it's going to be amazing. Libra sun, Libra moon. We have the Hermit, the Virgo card. So Libra, this is talking about you mastering a personal expression of your character, stepping you into giving expert advice. But what I'm getting with this is people are going to give you unsolicited advice. Tell them to suck your dick and then take your own advice instead. You might just want to do that every day. Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising. We have the Two of Swords, but I didn't feel like I shuffled it fully as I could. But refer to Cancer, really let you know. I love how the water signs are being told, hey, motherfuckers, don't get in your feels. Don't get in your feels, water. Don't get in your feels. But we have the Emperor. This is you sitting on your throne. Mercury in Cancer is going to enable a much more masculine establishment of your power, whether you're a man or woman, so that you really stand up for your own authority and you communicate this. This could also be you really mending relationships with the father figure. Thank you. Sagittarius. We have the Eight of Wands. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. Things are going to go from 0 to 100. I really love the Eight of Wands card because these are the arrows of love. And so during Mercury in Cancer, you could literally have sex with someone who you just met, and it's a good thing. But, you know, there's no good or bad. It is what it is. But this is definitely saying to really prepare for a very quick, rapid acceleration of circumstances relative to the blockages that'll be released. I feel like you're the Eight of Wands force in people's lives. You're just going to be accelerating experiences of people. So Capricorn Capricorn moon, Capricorn rise, we got the 5 of Pentacles. You might take a loss. You might actually end up feeling a bit alienated or less valuable. But this is going to instill you with a sense of productive thoughts that will help you see who your friends are. Even though the 5 of Pentacles seems like a depressing card and a loss, this is really just more going to help you reevaluate what's important to you. And Capricorn, I have the feeling that you might be dealing with the less fortunate or homeless people during this period, and you're going to gain a lot of insight in how you personally deal with these people or how you cope with this. But it's not as bad as it looks. I think this is more just so changing your mind about certain things and value. Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising, we got the high P. The high priestess is definitively speaking of you being in a position to be revealed all sorts of sacred wisdom. The synchronicities are going to be popping for you. You're going to really literally oh, I already see it now in Aquarius. Like someone's gonna you're gonna ask somebody, okay, what did you do last night? And why are you hiding it from me? And then this person's gonna be like, I can't really. And as soon as you ask it, a plane's gonna fly, and it's gonna be like, and then you're gonna see a truck pass by, and it's gonna say cookie jar, and then you're gonna see on a poster a stealing thing. You're gonna process all of these phenomena in 5 seconds and be like, you stole cookie from the cookie jar. And then they're gonna be like, how the fuck did you know that? What? I was the only one in the house. How did you know that? And you're gonna be like, I just have my ways. And so this is where your intuition is so on point. The truth will literally come out of thin air, and you need to trust your intuition. That is and I swear to God, that is facts. I made sure I made everything that I said sound like an exaggeration. This is real life Aquarians. This is what they really doing. You cannot lie to these motherfuckers. Don't. They'll just figure you out. They'll just it's crazy. Okay, it's wild. Okay, so your intuition's on fleek. This is sacred revelations. You just gonna be knowing stuff and your dreams and all that. Okay, Pisces moon, Pisces rising. And listen, y'all got a lot of insecure people who are on the sidelines, boning you, hater boning you. They have hater boners, just watching you just to hate because they're so in love with you. They can't admit that. So they're just going to hate boner you. And it's just get a room. Tell these people to get a room. If they love you so much, let them admit it. Stop acting like these people are above you in any way, which you do when you get triggered or react emotionally to the dumb shit they say about you. So, and that's to everyone. Pisces moon, Pisces rising, you're Virgoing it. So Pisces and Virgo got the epiphanies. Listen to everything Pisces and Virgo say, because they're going to be the force of truth. I feel like whereas Virgo is going to be the expression of this sword, Pisces, every single person you meet is going to share an epiphany with you. And that's how you're going to come into the collective truth, because you're going to really see the epiphany of, oh, I was just thinking about this before. And then this person came and said it. Oh, I was just talking about this. And then this person came and said it. No, homie, it's not that you were just talking about it. It's that as you were imagining it, you are literally creating the experience for someone else with their extra magical ass. And then you manifested that experience because you still refuse to believe that you are beyond even the gods. Come on, Pisces. We're going to at some point need you to stop veiling yourself and accept that you are a magical existence that no one will ever understand except for God. Congratulations. So that's it. I'm going to draw one more for all the signs. See? And Pisces life. We got the King of Wands. This is you on your throne. This is you with your big ass dick. All right, ladies, this is you with your big ass dick walking around like you know what's up. And you want to grab your cojones, and you're not going to take shit from nobody. Every single one of you in this chat has a big ass dick right now. And you know you have a big dick, and you're walking around with big dick energy. And you're just like, this isn't the queen, this is the king here. Okay, you have a big ass dick. and you're not taking, see how big this dick is? See this dick? And you're not taking shit from nobody. You're like, I have a big dick. I don't have to deal with you. I got swag. Okay. And that's how it works. That's how it works. All right, ladies. Any one of these fuck boys, any one of these immature men try and hit on you, you just be like, I got a big dick, bitch. I got big dick energy. You're not just gonna hit on me any type of way. Deepen your voice and watch them run away. So like that's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta say. You got a big nutsack. You got big dick energy in this biatch. Okay, not backing down from nobody. I'm gonna pull one more too. You know, dick slap these F boys. There we go. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. We got the devil card. Okay. The devil, the king of wands. Ladies, just walk up to somebody who you don't want to hit on. You just be like, do you know how big my dick is? And say with a hey girl, how you doing? Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. And then you walk up to them. You're like, do you know how big my dick is? Do you want to feel my dick? Do you want to feel my big dick? And then they will stop hitting on you. I promise you. They will stop. They will stop that immaturity. Okay. So we got the king of wands, we got the devil, and we have the two of cups. So this is like a very passionate, deeply sexual relationship where both of you explore your shadows. And this is you also, it doesn't have to be in a romantic context, but it's you definitely exploring this in a creative and passionate way. For some of you, the king of wands with this big dick energy could actually be this person you're connecting with. So something to keep in mind. And now with that being said, let's actually get to live readings. Once again, you know, if any one of you want to order a reading, I got the half off discount code. If any one of you want to get the webinar seats, it is available. It is available for you right now. thepeacedealer.com. All right. Do you know how big my, okay. That's so crazy because, like, if I did that to a woman, she's giving me a restraining order. Like, there's just there's certain things that women can do that men just can't do to women, or they can, but like they can't. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to hit up a chick and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I wanted to comment some stuff on your page or your video, but you blocked it, and I wanted to let people know, like, yo, you're gonna call me a creep. But if a chick says that to me, I'm just supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's what's up, that's sexy. So I'm not even gonna complain about that double standard, because not all double standards are bad, but it's just certain things you want. You know, I'm trying to say the opposite. Embrace your double standard, ladies. I can't walk up to a girl and be like, do you know how big my dick is? I can't. I mean, I can. But you can walk up to a man and be like, you know how big my dick is, and you want to embrace that, you know, dude, embrace what you got, take what you got. You feel me? Like, it is what it is. We are, us men, we have our own double standards too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if two guys were like, oh yeah, we had sex with the same girl, you know what I'm saying? That girl might feel a certain way. If two girls are like, we had sex with the same guy, that guy is not about to be like, they both had sex with me in the party and I don't feel special. That guy's gonna be like, yeah. So like we each have our own double standards. Use them. They take them. Don't feel ashamed for them. That's what they exist for. That was the worst advice ever. All right, so let us start. We got Angeli Rodriguez. Gray sweatpants energy. All right. Angeli on soul. Yep. Most of you ladies got bigger balls than most men. So that's a fact. Ovaries, balls, whatever you want to call them. Angeli. We have the Venus and Cancer card for Mercury and Cancer. So Angeli, this is actually talking about mutual love with a soulmate. If you're currently in a relationship, you're deepening this love. If you're single, you very well may not be single. Mars and Venus is in Leo. So this promotes social activity to put yourself out there. And if you do, you will get this. This is definitely talking about platonically and romantically. Okay. And this definitely goes a long way towards mending communication issues and really, not starting from scratch, but understanding each other in a deeper way. That's beautiful. I love this card. Okay. Next we have Renee. Thank you, Renee. All right. That's how you feel, huh? All right. Renee Sama. Renee, we have the Knight of Cups, Radiant Gems. So we got the Four of Swords and the Eight of Cups. At now and at current, the lesson here is you coming into mental restoration. Oh, I love this message already. Especially if you found yourself with anxiety, you're taking a vacation, you're relaxing. When this is all said and done, you're going to be so much more relaxed and releasing this anxiety. And the challenge here is walking away from that which doesn't allow you this sense of not comfort. You're not supposed to be in your comfort zone, but relaxation and mental clarity, which is beautiful. It's grounded by this genius method of thought. You're at the top of your field. The King of Swords, I think, represents you within. The past position is celebration, Three of Cups. While within, you're intellectually and detached, expressing everything you're expressing. You still got your mind on your money with the Queen of Pentacles. All right. This is talking about how you're managing your resources very properly. And the near future, we have the King of Wands, the big dick energy. So this is you stepping towards this king, right? This is you gaining more entrepreneurship in your decisions. And this is you coming into more passion. I love how this is surrounded by all royal court cards. The King of Wands can also be an actual Leo or a fire sign man or a masculine figure who corroborates this energy of passion. Whereas each of these kings and queens could be different people. For you, we got the 10 of Cups, which was the card we got for Gemini. So it's interesting. The past was the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. This bliss is coming from you, which I believe that. Like everything that has to do with you is positive, not because of what you're sending me, but the energy behind it. Like you're brightening up people's days. And so we have the King of Cups. We have all of the elements. We got the sword, we got the pentacles, we got the wands, and we also have the cups. So the King of Cups around you is really more so speaking of this sense of compassion next to the 10 of Cups, which would promote peace. That's not to say that everything in your life is going well, but you've put in so much work that it's paying off. We got the literally paying off the Page of Pentacles. The guidance is reinvention. So as you're managing your world around you, the Page of Pentacles wants you to go back to basics and re-engineer the way you work on your health. Page of Pentacles could be a new way to save money, to invest money, and the outcome is the Page of Cups. This could also be a gift. I love this. So seeing the Page of Cups come with the King of Wands could be someone is going to open their heart up to you. And whatever you're grounding, this doesn't have to be just one person. This could be people who you're dealing with. But the Page of Cups as an outcome is talking about new love. And then we had, what was that? The Knight of Cups as the underlying theme. So we see the Knight of Cups here dealing with the Page of Cups. This is a coming together of emotions. And you had the King of Cups energy. You have the more compassionately mature emotional energy. You're going to be opening your heart up to someone who's more passionate, but less emotionally mature than you. Doesn't mean they're immature. You're just way more emotionally mature because you're way more emotionally mature than most people. So that's really what I'm getting for you. You're really, opening up this sense of new feelings, new love, reinvention of your own material resources. And this is just set to be very amazing. The outcome we're gonna see near the end of Mercury Cancer, which is like, July 24th. So we also have, of course, Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time, of course, with the Cancer energy. And hope, love, and acceptance. We have love and peace, love and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. So beautiful. And facing fear, Kali Ma. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Radiant Gems, thank you so much. I mean, the contributions you've made, the love you've shown to the readers on Clearsight Consulting, we definitely appreciate you. And yeah, as always, stay blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So next we have Valton. I would like something that needs to be heard or said in any aspect or section with me or my life overall. And maybe it will help me stop talking and just talk more instead of little by little holding back, because I feel like I might be holding myself back. Ascendant and Sun in Cancers, Pluto and Mars and Sag. Okay, Gemini, Venus, and Saturn. No wonder you have Saturn in Gemini. Your word is law. Okay, because I wonder why, like, there's a very huge overthinking energy with you. And now I know why. You have Saturn behind your Sun in Cancer. So you overthink a lot of things, bro. And you get in your own way by trying to over intellectualize instead of just letting things be that they are. And I really would get triggered in the way you would just kind of ask me a lot of things, mainly because you remind me of who I used to be when I was your age. And so not exactly, right? But just that whole notion of overthinking literally everything. Ironically, it's the best part about you. Don't ever lose that about yourself. But you have to learn to release the need to know every single detail. I'm still learning this myself. And you're going to learn how to integrate this into just trusting in your own ability, because you're super psychic, man. So let's see what we got. Yeah, no. It would get a little annoying, but I know you mean well. You know what I'm saying? You're not just being snarky. Like you're genuinely hungry for the truth, and I respect that. And it reminds me of how I used to be. So like, I totally feel you, man. You just want to be very mindful. You just want to be very mindful of that overthinking, because it really can get in your own way. It's such a double-edged sword. So we do have the Three of Swords, the double-edged sword. This is sacrifice. This is release. And let's actually get the Oracle card, because with the Three of Swords, this could be you ending this level of overthinking, right? Or of trying to figure out a way of doing something. But I'm picking up the Three of Swords. You're going to be betrayed by what you may have expected somebody to do. It doesn't mean they would have betrayed you, but it's going to change the way you feel about certain people. And we have love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. So the Three of Swords is a card of betrayal and setback. I don't really get that you're going to be betrayed as much as you're going to sacrifice an old way of thinking and instead to choose peace. You may even be the source of healing for hearts that you see are broken in this vein. Okay. And in that sense, this is going to open the space for you to replace this Three of Swords with what is healthy for you. But for some reason, I don't see this as a negative thing. I see this as you identifying what you're ready to, let go of and release. And this is going to open up so much more positively for you. Not that things have to be positive, but yeah. Catherine Sanchez, let's get it. Catherine Sanchez. We have the Ace of Swords, Epiphany City, Mercury in Cancer. That'll be interesting if your sun is in Virgo or Pisces, or if you have any energy there, is going to bless you with a new thought, a new thinking pattern. And we have this with the 10 of Wands. So if you find that you have a lot of burden, if you find that you have a lot of work on your plate, the Ace of Swords will cut that off, and you're going to find a much more efficient way to think about everything you're doing. This is a card of victory. You're stepping into a huge W because you're embracing this new mindset. Okay, so awesome, and you deserve it. Nancy Solorio, I applied to the Four Seasons hotel 3 weeks ago. Will I get the job if I just show up there instead without an interview? Great question. So let's see. Will you get the job if you just show up there without an interview? Let's see if we get a yes or no card. I'm getting you definitely want to show up regardless. Especially having the Virgo energy you have, it does favor more of a physical appearance and just showing up for real. But we do have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is a yes or no is a no. However, I think this is saying you will get the job because the King of Swords represents, in a career sense, being at the top of your game. So you will get the job the more you can exemplify that you're an expert at what you do. The King of Swords is saying that instead of appealing to people's emotions, being impartial and very objective in the way that you personally express yourself will have you stick out. The King of Swords could even be who might be interviewing you. So I see this as perhaps should you get the job, you're going to be like the expert in your field. There you go. You're an elite massage therapist. So accentuate everything that you're an expert at. And that's going to really help you a lot more, I believe. And please keep me posted. Shoot me an email about if you got the job, if you didn't get the job, what happened. Let me know, please. And I would say good luck, but Godspeed. You already got this in the bag. Oh, and let me, of course, do the Oracle card. We have Awakening Presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love, which, if you ask me, this is literally the same card. So El Moria could be the presence of this king, someone who you'll see when you're working, right? And yes, please keep me posted. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So we have Oracle of Love. Let's get it. Straight up. Oracle of Love. We have the Four of Swords. This is take a break. Take some time out to literally just rest. If you're like me, you may not like to hear that because you may want to keep doing stuff, but go on a mini vacation. I split the deck. I got the Four of Pentacles. So you could even be grounding more wealth. But the Four of Swords is saying you're definitely going to gain relaxation if you've been plagued by anxiety. And Mercury in Cancer will definitely help you process and own up to that. So next we have Rosa Mata, La MFing Nina de Ora Rosa. Let's get it. Hey, shout out to Kashenko. So Goddess Rosa, we got the Seven of Pentacles. You are currently working on an endeavor that is way bigger than you may expect. I'm picking up that you're building a harvest, but you're going to produce more crops than you even planted the seeds for. And so if you're feeling that, is it worth it to keep on doing what I'm doing? It's worth it. This is a promise of fortune. It's saying at present, you just want to really, like a farmer nurtures their field, really nurture and make changes to what you got to do. This is coming with the Page of Pentacles too. So this could be also new seeds. Someone might offer a new seed to be planted in your garden. Like someone may offer their talents into the store you're working with. This is very interesting. It's going to favor reinventing the way you also invest in yourself. And it's urging you to reinvest in yourself as well. I'm picking up for you, Nina, that certain people are reacting to you very negatively. Hopefully, this doesn't have to apply to you, and this might be more general. But I'm getting the vision of people reacting to you negatively, and your mind, you might be like, "Is it something I'm doing?" And the whole time they're just jealous. It's not that it's anything you're doing; it's just that they don't like you, and it's not because of anything you did. It's because of what you stand for and represent. And so, your success intimidates them. And yeah, tell them bitches to suck your dick. So next we have, of course, Sandra. I am putting my house on the market, but I haven't found a new place to move to. It was an unexpected decision, but I feel like there's something bigger. But I feel there's something bigger. I can't see it. Why am I being forced to sell and move out? Any insight on how to find my next place and what the purpose of that move? Definitely by Leo season after the opposition of Pluto, this will be a lot clearer, but really great question. The card I do have is the Eight of Swords. It's you feeling relatively stuck and not necessarily sure, what's occurring, right? And if we kind of clarify this, we have this with the Three of Swords. So it could be attached maybe with what it is you're doing. It could also be attached with rather understand why I have to let this go. But I love how you said you feel there is something bigger you can't see yet. That's literally this. It's like you don't see it, but you can sense it. And so the Three of Swords, it's not that you're being forced to move out. I think it's the universe's way of saying, like, you know what I mean? You're in a position to now realistically, personally let go of it. You know what I'm saying? You're personally and I'm aware the sound went out because I had to unmute or mute it, but personally the Eight of Swords, Three of Swords is maybe it's not that you're being forced to move. It's the Three of Swords where you're sacrificing that arena. And the Eight of Swords is not being able to see why, because the Three of Swords came up after that. So this is where personally I think after you kind of rid yourself from that influence, it will be made more clear. But I think it's interesting how we pulled the cards that really more mirrored how it almost looks like you're blindfolded. And we have phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. There we go. So this is speaking directly to, having to go through a new beginning and the ending. So the illusions with the blindfolds will be released, I would say, as you actually finish this process. But please keep me posted. Feel free to shoot me an email if you want more insight. And if just to see how this is developing, because this is definitely very interesting. So Sims Rock 99. Right, wild. So we have Nine of Wands. This is a card of determination and perseverance. It speaks to your ability to handle very high intense conflict situations and don't put your guard down. Please do, Sandy. And thank you once again. Much appreciated. Okay. All right. So personally, the Nine of Wands is coming with Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. But you didn't just walk this path. You are highly experienced. Oh, do you know? Oh, I get it now. Do you know what came after this card? This. You need a bodyguard. It looks like you're holding, it looks like you're coming into wealth too. And so this is saying to also keep your guard up against people who may have their eyes on your money and your inheritance. But this is also saying that you're very experienced. Oh, Sam, that's me. Every single person. I'm the only one in my family that hasn't taken that. I'm like literally the black sheep. And you know, it is what it is. My whole notion is as long as they made the conscious decision to and it was not forced on them, that's on them. Like that's what they decided to do. I'm not going to demonize anybody for that. I feel like people should be able to do what they choose to do, but you shouldn't force people to do what they don't want to do, whether you think is right for them or not. So House of Judea, natal sun in Pisces, rising Cancer, moon Leo, Mercury Aquarius. Let's get it. All right. We have the Knight of Pentacles. This could realistically be a reliable friend. I got the Three of Pentacles. You may be actually working with someone, which is beautiful because you're the Pisces. And so this person being the Virgo is going to be able to analyze all your ideas that you bring into motion, and you may be able to work together. This could also be representative of your consistency, your utility, you being able to ground your financial world. Oh, dude, that's it. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Sims Rock. Thank you, Sims Rock. And in starting on your podcast, if there's any difficulty, don't give up. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. And so, House of Judea, we have you really stabilizing your finances. And this is coming with Commander Ashtar, call to action, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. And so I see you as this very reliable individual. But you know what? I see the world card here too. So I think that you're coming into great completion. Trusting heaven comes up, which literally looks like this Ashtar commander fool. All right. Archangel Michael says, you are safe. Angels stand close. Remember, surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So Knight of Pentacles is going to see through consistency. A lot of things stabilize and complete. And I get the sense that people are going to be looking at you as a rock, and or you'll manifest this grounded support with people who you can team up with, who really see your vision and dream and can ground it. So San Pasuchil, where is CJ and I going? Where are CJ and I going? I got you. Where are CJ and I going? To the moon. Okay, this is very important. And this is why I appreciate, you know, the unconscious expression through the tool of tarot, because these are just cards. I know a lot of people like to think that these cards have energy in them. Everything has a soul, and you can program the soul of this tarot, but it's not, you know, it's all you. So you asked me where you and CJ are going, and I pulled a card that literally has a pathway showing you going into the recesses and depths of your subconscious. And the moon card, when it talks to two people, is talking about the shared psychic space that enables both people to uncover mutual illusions and blockages based off of feelings that muddy and cloud our senses. This is also a card of psychic ability. So maybe you're going into a dream space, because the moon card is about what is hidden and how things are not as they seem. So this could be like a metaphorical adventure. All right. Thank you so much for that confirmation. Because this is even deeper than what I'm saying. I feel like you are going to have a deeper understanding. I'm just the messenger. You're going to gain a deeper meaning from this, which you want to trust. Okay. You're both exploring this deeper part of your psychic ability together. Okay. So with that being said, We talk to each other all the time, and it's crazy, especially if it's telepathically, because the moon card is going to speak of your unconscious connection that maybe one or both of you are aware of, and you're not crazy. It's not really normal, but you're picking up on a transpersonal aspect of the relationship that, because of the moon card being of illusions and fantasies, it is going to be a bit delusional. It is going to manifest as an auditory hallucination, but it doesn't mean that it's fully an auditory hallucination. So we have, of course, the Five of Pentacles. This is the card of parted lovers. And this is coming with the, oh my God. I just accidentally pulled a love reading. So the moon card is both of you exploring your subconscious space so that as parted lovers, both of you can reunite. I almost want to shed a tear, but I would never do that. But it's like, this is interesting. This is like a love story. We live far away from each other and met in an ayahuasca retreat. So this doesn't have to be romantic, but even if energetically, we do see, coming from here to here. Wow. This is wild. This is wild. I was not expecting to pull that at all. I didn't even want to pull you 3 cards. I just wanted to pull you 2. So that's wild. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Stan, I really hope you enjoy that. Like, I think that's a promise for you. You saw me shuffle that. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. So we have divine healing, honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. And we also have this with magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. Woo! Let's get it. All right. Oh, guys, I have an unreleased track I want to play. I'm gonna play it the next live I go live, and I'm gonna play it now. Shout out to Cito. I finally got that track finished. So if y'all want to hear that, I'll bump that before I dip. And the next time I go live, I'll play it again because it's that fire. Kimberly, what should I be focusing on the most right now? I'm feeling a bit scattered. Kimberly, we have, your dreams. Oh, this is it. You need to be focusing on your dreams. You need to be focusing on what it is you wish for. What is your dream? This is so important. This is so important. The star card comes when like you're working a dead end job and the star is like, you want to be a singer. Like, focus on what you love to do. If you can do anything in this world, focus on that. I think you're getting this card because there's certain things you think are impossible. You know what I'm saying? People told me that what I'm doing is impossible, and then I made it work. So like, you want to focus on what it is you truly want to bring into this reality because the universe is fully supporting you, and you want to focus the most on making an impossible dream possible because you're possible. This is so very important. I feel the inspiration. You're coming over a wave of inspiration. Focus on what inspires you. Focus on what heals you. And I feel like you might feel like, should I? Like, is that practical? But it's like, you really want to, that's going to get you out of feeling scattered because it's going to re-inspire you. The energy I felt when I pulled that though was just like a whoosh. Okay, I'm rejuvenating faith. And we also have soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding, which is literally what this card is about. You understand the connection between all things. Are you an Aquarius? Because this is an Aquarius card. This is beautiful. Then we got Isis, magic manifesting. This is literally the card of Isis. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. Oh my God, you literally just asked me, what should I be focusing on the most? I can't make this up. In fact, I should have just listened to my intuition because this is fucking ridiculous. This has been definitely a vibe, but this is why I was trying to tell y'all your psychic ability is about to be off the chain. That's it, yo. The goddess Isis is literally channeling herself through you to make your dreams a reality. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe you literally just asked me what should you be focusing on, and look at Isis talking about boo boo, stay focused on your dreams, stay focused, you can make them become reality. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. Okay, I guess I'm just a pseudoscientist. That was just coincidence. You know what I'm saying? That's not psychic ability. Let's not play ourselves here. But yes, Sirius albino, Capricorn rising, or albino, Capricorn rising, Cancer sun, Leo, Venus, general reading. I got you. I got you. I got you. We got the Knight of Cups, which is pushing you to be a lot more poetic and romantic with the way you establish your authority. So the Knight of Cups is saying appeal to people's hearts, but don't take no shit. Especially if you're connected. If you see the Emperor is looking sideways to this Knight of Cups, it's not a coincidence. Maybe in order to reach out to someone rigid, you would think that you'd have to come at them intellectually, but appeal to their heart, seduce them, not romantically, but like appeal to the heart when you deal with people. At one level, this is saying to be both the Knight and the Emperor. Be emotionally led, but still stand up for yourself. But I'm getting the sense that you're going to be dealing with rigid authority figures in the sense that you'll be able to soften their hearts with your sincerity. Okay, which is interesting because you do got the Cancer sun. I feel like the Capricorn rising is the Emperor card. The Cancer sun is the Knight of Cups. And these could be different aspects of yourself too that you're dealing with. Oops. Mama Babaji. And so we have Freya. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. Phases and cycles. Lady, not a heart awakening. That's this. Awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. Yeah. All right. Rebecca White. Okay. Will Derek and I make it in the long haul in this life as we try to in past lives? Got you. We have the Hangman. You want to surrender because your perception of Derek, I'm not sure if Derek feels the same way as you do this life. And I think that you're connecting to an aspect of Derek that may not be the Derek you've always known, or Derek could be an archetype of this past life individual. So the Hangman is saying to release because it's not necessarily a yes or a no. It's saying that once you surrender the need to understand or know this or control this, you're going to gain a new perspective that will change the way you think about everything. So this is pretty much saying transformation here. It's not really a no as much as it is let go. Okay. You're fully surrendering to what's up with you and Derek will get you the answer you seek by changing your perspective about it. The Hangman is actually, I used to hate getting this card, but it's so necessary because the new perspective that it gives is one that you couldn't really think of on your own because you're bridging a perspective that's beyond you. That letting go will allow spirit to help you understand why you're feeling what you're feeling. Okay. Very great question, by the way. And we have, of course, Soul Flame with Radha. Okay. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing, because the past life connection you're picking up on is real, but your understanding of it is what letting go will help you reestablish deeper understanding of. So I'm going to pull one more card for everybody, and then I'm going to play this track. So for everybody, I got the balance card, Justice, which is effectively saying karma is on your side if you are on the right side of karma. And to make appropriate decisions, get your paperwork right, and trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. Heaven's forces are fighting on your behalf. Maintain integrity, remain peaceful, and laugh. I'll be right back.
No straighter than I won't rap with you. Ain't no rap nigga like me. Yeah, niggas trying to kill me. Damn, tell them pull up, let's see. Yeah, fuck rap niggas, we don't fuck with rap niggas. I don't keep no pussy niggas around me. Yeah, you know it's RhymeSkeem and seat though. And you dope, but you're nothing like me though. They stay trying to curse me, I stay blessing. They tell me stay humble, I stay flexing. Yeah, everything I do in life, that's it. It's meant to be. Mess with me, that's your ending. Started off real, never turn fake. No, only change up when I'm spending cake. Hey, I just get it how I live. I'm so honest, I tell it how it is. That's fact, man, I'm up the bat. Niggas is bad athlete, they don't know how to act. Came a long way from not being able to cast a vote just cause a nigga black. Only to vote and then they rig the election, so whack. But I'm a hypocrite if I bring out the gag. Fuck the government and the status quo. And it ain't about the dough, but I had to let you know. If you got no Skrilla, then I won't rap with you. Ain't no rap nigga like me. Yeah, niggas trying to kill me. Damn, tell them pull up, let's see. Yeah, fuck rap niggas, we don't fuck with rap niggas. I don't keep no pussy niggas around me. Yeah, you know it's RhymeSkeem and seat though. And you dope, but you're nothing like me though.
I ain't rapping like the Lord gon' save me. He said he had them Lambos, went to Gold Coast, baby. I like to make my dreams real, like to live that shit. Universe, give me space, I'm gon' fulfill that shit. Criminal mind shine. Now let me take you down my timeline. When I drop killer raps, man. What a prime time, reaching for the stars, even though they within me. See, dog, motherfuckers still feel me.
Guess it's cold, it's a cold world, huh? It's a dirty game.
It's a dirty game. Niggas better have sturdy aim. Niggas need like 30 tanks.
I think it's the 3 out 30 out.
And you heard the name, Kelsito, but I ain't coming alone, I'm with the people. Catch us doing rituals, and when the sunset hard, give my children a kiss, and we gon' go out and party. I fuck with her cause she hard, I'ma be here regardless. I'm a reader, artist, just don't become the target.
Got no Skrilla, then I won't rap with you. Ain't no rap nigga like me. Niggas trying to kill me. Damn, tell them pull up, let's see. Yeah, fuck rap niggas, we don't fuck with rap niggas. I don't keep no pussy niggas around me. Yeah, you know it's RhymeSkeem and seat though. And you dope, but you're nothing like me though.